Well, welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. It's your good friend, Mr. BDA, and I sure am glad, that's right, sure am glad that everybody could be on board for this one. Fellas, in this episode, we got a fantastic one for you, as we got a little bit of a roundup of news to talk about, to distribute to the people. Not much going on this Saturday in terms of big fight, big event boxing, but we got a couple of news that we can talk about. Of course, Canelo-Crawford is red hot right now, even though we're about close to 3 months away from that big bout, that mega event. It's going to be taking place September the 13th. But we're going to talk about all that plus more before we get down to the fun. Let's get down, let's get the business of the way, fellas. You know the drill. If you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, you're certainly welcome to do so via the Super Chat feature. You're welcome to donate via Patreon as well, or you can join for free. You still get free content over there, but it's always good if you join. That's where you let us know that there's people out there watching and what type of content you enjoy watching. You can also donate via the Buy Me a Coffee app. Buy Me a Coffee, link in the description below. And where else? Super Chat, Buy Me a Coffee. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it in regards to that. Don't forget to check out our latest videos. Like, subscribe if you have to do so already. The most important thing, fellas, is you continue to like, subscribe. All right? I can't stress that enough. Hit that like and spread that BDA Gospel. Let's give a big shout out to everybody in the chat. Martin Kearney, Langsbury, Sergeant. Shout out to the Sergeant. Alfredo Contreras, Hard Recoil, MKVI, Miss So Dionysian. Who else? We got Team Batman Boxing, Silas de Lobo, Earl Stevens. Shout out to Earl Stevens, one of the initiated. And many more people to come, I'm sure. Fellas, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Oh, let's get it started. Let's get it started without any more prevarication. By the way, happy 4th of July to all the Yanks out there, all the gringos, as we like to say, over here in my neck of the woods. I got to tell you something. We got ourselves some rather interesting stuff here. So, hey, I don't know, 4th of July, people got the day off, right? So we should be having people listen to this show as they get ready for the apple pie, the fireworks, the whole shebang. I don't know what else they do over there in the United States for Independence Day, but hopefully you celebrate your independence. Now, let's get down to business here. There's a lot to talk about, and I don't even know where to start. I suppose we could start with what we put in the title, which is Canelo-Crawford heating up. But I also want to talk about real quick the rankings. I don't know if you guys saw, but the WBA, in their infinite wisdom and in their complete and total obsession with trying to be the worst of the alphabet organizations out there, and they all have a lot of bad. For some reason, the WBA is invested in beating them all. They just placed, you probably heard the news here, Jake Paul, number 14 in their rankings. That's right. Check this out, so you know I'm not lying. That's not the WBA. Here we go. Jake Paul, number 14, with a record of 12 wins, 1 loss against Tommy Fury, who I don't think has fought since they last fought. 12-1. That's Jake Paul. Wakey, Jakey. Can't believe this. See, when people tell me we're talking about fighters and we're trying to gauge their worth or their legacy, and people go, undisputed in the 4-belt era. He beat 15 world champions. He's an 8 world champion, 9 world champion, 9-time world champion, 11-time world champion. Who gives a shit about these titles? They're all, you can buy your way into them. The WBA, they know what they're doing. Jake Paul brings in a lot of money. Hey, let's sanction his fights, so he's got to pay the sanctioning fees. And he's going to pay Boku sanctioning fees. Look at this. WBC, WBA, WBO, IBF. And just to make my point, I don't want to harp on this, because you guys know my stance on the sanctioning organizations. But let's take a look at the cruiserweight division. You got Badu Jack as a WBC champion, Michael Kleslak as the interim champion, so he walks around with a belt calling himself champion. Then you got the WBO champ, Gilberto Ramirez J. Opetaya. If we go to 140 pounds, okay, let's go to lightweight. Shakur Stevenson, WBC, William Cepeda, WBC interim champion, Raymond Murataya is the IBF champ, Gervonta Davis, WBA champ. Who's the real champ? You got a whole bunch of people, they're calling them champs. Look at WBA, they still have the interim position too. I don't even know if they still call it super champ or regular champ or whatever they used to call it, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different champions in there. And one day they're going to start counting the IBO, just so people can say, hey, you know what? I beat everybody else. Okay, there was undisputed in the 4-belt era, and I'm undisputed in the 5-belt era. I won all 5 belts. Who gives a shit? I shouldn't be cursing this much early in the morning, but this is where these alphabet organizations have me. They're insane. Anybody that still pays attention to these rankings, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, you're going to have to be excommunicated from the BDA organization, the BDA Commune. We can't have it. We just can't have it. See what people are saying in the chat right away. The Turk says, BDA, are you suggesting boxing is a crooked sport? Why, I would never suggest that. How dare you? I would never suggest boxing, the redheaded stepchild of the sports world, to say that it's a crooked sport. How dare you? Nerd says 5:40 a.m. here in Texas, BDA. What's going on? Well, I got to tell you, these morning shows, we got to start them early. Muhammad Amard Bruce Lee says, hard recall, salute, young hungry bull. Desperado says they should at least force him to be the journeyman at 200 pounds. Well, I guess they considered Chavez Jr. a journeyman. Not only a journeyman, but a criminal journeyman at that. You guys probably heard the news. Chavez was detained by ICE and sent packing back to Mexico because of ties to the Sinaloa cartel. You know what they say? You lie with dogs, don't get surprised if you end up with fleas. I think that saying is made without so much hesitation, the way I did it. But I think I added a little bit of gravitas to it by doing so. Miso Dionysian says, since Jake only fights retired fighters, he should fight Mary's Brady's. Well, Mary's Brady's did pay homage to the great Jake Paul by getting a tattoo, right? On his ass cheeks or something? I don't know. I forget the details. Langsbury says, did Jake's fight have drug testing? That's a good question. That is a good question. I don't know. They probably should. I mean, you gotta assume Jake Paul's trying to get he's trying to get kickstarted in boxing. He probably took a couple of supplements. Almost everybody else does. Why not him? That's what these fighters tell themselves, by the way. Everyone's doing it. Why not me too? It's like, by the way, that Exodus Files that we played on the last episode, fantastic documentary. It's not getting the amount of views that it deserves. I would have expected that it would be at 20,000 views right now. It's about 10. It's stuck at 10, I believe. Some people are screaming foul play, saying that there's some sort of shadow banning going on, some type of YouTube hijinks. I don't know. What can I tell you? It's sometimes a video hits, sometimes it doesn't. But I wouldn't be surprised if there are indeed some sort of hijinks going on. Unfortunately, I can't prove it. But a documentary of that caliber certainly deserves to have more views. than he currently possesses. And one interesting thing about the Exodus Files documentary is that I'm looking at the comments. And first of all, let me give you the link again, because it is an important documentary, and I can't stress enough how well made it was done in terms of its research and the elucidation of its main argument, the Exodus Files. Hold on a second. Yeah, so go check this channel out. Here we go. The Exodus Files, and the name of the documentary, the new one they posted 4 days ago, is The Backward Steroid Case Full Documentary. I'm looking at the comments for that video, by the way, and I'm reading some comments. One comment goes, what the guy on the documentary gets wrong is that it's super common for people to rehydrate 25 pounds. It's like, first of all, no, it's not. It's not super common to rehydrate 25 pounds. 10, 15, 20, maybe 20, 25? Well, no, that's something else. And especially when Devin Haney is looking like a mummy sometimes before some of these weigh-ins. And by the way, they got 36 hours now to rehydrate. Used to be 24, so now they're extending it to 36. Pretty soon it's going to be 2 weeks or something. I don't know. They're playing with this. And by the way, that's the other thing. When people go, well, only one guy tested positive. Only one guy tested positive. Ryan Garcia tested positive for not divulging what supplements he was taking. And even if, people say that, well, it's rehydrating 25 pounds. What's wrong with that? It's part of the game. It's legal. Well, that's the problem, dum-dums. It shouldn't be legal. Just because something is legal doesn't make it morally correct or disadvantageous for that. What do you think? Haney's losing 25 pounds because he wants to? For the heck of it? No. He's doing it because it gives him an advantage. Hence, why he told 3 or 4 fighters during the weigh-in, you're too small. You're too small. Something I hear constantly hear from women, by the way, but not in the way you think. I'm talking about my feet. They say, you're pretty well endowed. You're supposed to have big feet. I go, well, listen. The exception that proves the rule. What do you want from me? But yeah, so go check out the Exodus Files. Fantastic documentary, hard-hitting, hard copy style type dossier, deep dive, whatever you want to call it, in regards to the Haneys and their hypocrisy. And it casts aspersions, again, as everyone should be doing, on why Victor Conte is still involved in the sport of boxing. If he wants to create supplements for the average man, he wants to keep up a website and all that, yeah, fine. Nothing wrong with that. But working with professional athletes, no. And that's why I hate all these people that, hate's a strong word, but I'm dubious of all these Haney fans and Crawford fans who always talk about the sweet science and how corrupt boxing is. We gotta legitimize boxing, but they got no qualms with Victor Conte being involved with their fighters. Something is wrong here. So let's get into the whole Canelo-Crawford thing, because every day there seems to be something coming out. There seems to be constant updates, constant videos. Terence Crawford, interestingly enough, he was a guy that you never saw before. You rarely saw him. He was back there in Nebraska fishing for catfishes, getting into fights with people in garage sales or rim shops or whatever it was. He was getting into a fight and getting shot in the head after a dice game. You never used to hear from him. Occasionally, like I said, you would hear from him. Now he's all over the place. Ever since he beat Spence, it's almost like, come see me, bro. I'm over here now. And it's interestingly enough, he still has nothing to say. He's just sitting there. He's still as dull as ever. I'm just gonna do me. I'm just gonna be me. How you gonna beat Canelo? I'm just gonna do what I do. I was like, all right. Be that as it may, he's all over the place, and he's starting to get a little bit more interesting now. He's starting to get a little bit more character. Not necessarily with the way he speaks, but some of the things he's saying, maybe now he's getting a little bit more interesting. But I am curious because Bucho made a great video that he posted a couple of days ago called "The Excuses Are Already Coming In." And what he's talking about is he wants people to be clear, direct, and concise about who they're picking for this fight and why. Because I've already seen people talking about Crawford is going to school Canelo. He's going to school Canelo. Don't go around saying that Canelo's shot after the fight. Don't be making excuses now. But then when they break down the fight, they say Canelo's shot. So which one is it? And that's what we're trying to get to. Is Canelo's shot? Is Canelo too big for Crawford? Are people after the fight going to be saying, oh, well, Canelo only won because he was too big? Then why are you picking him now? Why not say, hey, listen, I'm picking Canelo because he's too big? I don't get it. OG Blaze says he's gonna wrestle Canelo BDA. Well, I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into that soon. Don't you worry about that. But here's an interesting take from the great Roy Jones Jr. And they asked him about this fight. He was talking to Seconds Out about it, and he says, "Why running is stupid." And he said, "You're totally wrong about Crawford running. First thing is, how are you going to move around and run from Canelo? You're going to give him everything he wants. That's stupid." And then he went on to say, "If you run from a big man, you give him all the confidence that he wants. Oh, all I got to do is catch him. He's running now. He didn't want to fight. All I got to do is catch him." So now that's Roy Jones talking as if he's the pressure fighter or the bigger guy. Then he continued, "No, you don't go in there with that mentality. Had I gone in there with that mentality against John Luis, he would have beat me." You know, there's something interesting about that comment, factual, what Roy Jones is saying. Because first of all, Roy Jones at his peak was never really a runner. And that's because he didn't have to run. He made it look easy against these guys that he fought. And he was so quick on the counterpunch trigger that he made good, solid fighters hesitant to throw against him. So he would just stand there in the middle of the ring, do his rooster-style boxing, and he would punch out people, usually for all 12 rounds. And against Luis, he didn't run. There were moments when Luis would rush him and Jones would run or move away, and he would end up on the ropes. So what he had to do is he had to really put a hurting on Luis to make him respect him. And that's what he did. I believe it was in the 4th or 5th round. Near the end of one of those rounds, he hit him with a good right hand, staggered the Silent Man. What was his name? What was his nickname for John Luis? The Silent Man? I forget. Not the Serious Man. He was silent something. Anyway, he hurt him, and from then on in, John Luis totally respected him and sort of capitulated that Jones was too quick for him and too dangerous, and Luis just didn't have the mechanics nor the skill to get that done. Now, the guy who wrote this blog on Boxing News 24 said Luis wasn't a puncher. See, now I disagree there. Luis was most definitely an underrated puncher. You don't drop Evander Holyfield with a big right hand in the rematch if you're not a puncher. Some people could say too, well, hey, Holyfield was past it. Well, he might have been past it. He was past it a couple of years later when he fought Larry Donald, who had boxed him for 12 rounds. Larry Donald never came close to putting Holyfield down. As far as I recall, by the way, that fight took place a long time ago. So Luis could crack, and that was the big question going into the Roy Jones fight. Could he take Ruiz's punch? But again, it's a little bit of a false equivalency here to compare Canelo-Crawford with Jones versus Luis, because Terence Crawford is not Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. was not 38 years old when he stepped up to fight John Luis. And John Luis, much less skilled than the current Canelo Alvarez. And that's the other thing that I'm going to get into later on when I start making videos about this fight, is that people are saying Canelo's shot. And I'm thinking, well, could people break down why they think he's shot? Because he looked bad against School? Because he's throwing one punch at a time? He's been throwing one punch at a time since he fought Calvin Smith back in 2020. Or even if you take it back to the Kovalev fight, 2019, pre-pandemic. So he's been fighting the same way. He hasn't been getting hit more, as far as I can tell. One of the arguments I hear is, well, he's not stopping people. Again, he hasn't stopped anybody since 2021. So if he was struggling with Berlanga and Munguia and coming close to losing decisions, yeah, maybe I'd agree with you that he's really slowing down, probably shawborn, this and that. But I don't see this substantial drop. But then again, maybe there is, because people are saying, hey, Crawford's going to beat Canelo because Canelo's past it. So if people could break it down, I'd certainly be open to considering that. But unfortunately, most of the breakdowns that I'm hearing are Crawford's got that X factor. Crawford's got that dog. He hasn't learned to lose. He's got those special ingredients, the 12 secret spices. I got to tell you, I'm really unconvinced by some of these comments so far. And they're coming from so-called experts, by the way. Not good. Not good. The boxing world really needs to step up its boxing acumen, its pugilistic acumen when it comes to breaking down fights. But so Roy Jones brings up a good salient point there in regards to running. Sometimes, and it doesn't always work out that way, but sometimes you can beat a fighter at his own game. One of my favorite fights, Nate Campbell versus Juan the Baby Bull Diaz. The Baby Bull was a pressure fighter, but he was a volume puncher. He wasn't a big puncher. and he would wear guys down with volume. So what Nate Campbell did was said, okay, he can't really hurt me with one punch. So if I fight him on the inside and I keep my chin tucked in and I roll with the shots and I try to keep up with him pace-wise, what's he going to do? He's not going to be able to knock me out with one punch. He's going to have to outwork me. And if he can't do that, he's in deep trouble. And that's what Nate Campbell did. He beat, what's his name, Baby Bull at his own game. Sometimes you can do, but if he would run, that's what William Dedloff, one of the Ring Magazine writers at the time, said. He said, if Nate Campbell would have run, especially at his age, it would have ended up badly for him because he would have given Juan Diaz the momentum that he wanted. Something similar happened between Julian Williams and Jarrett Hurd. If Julian Williams would have ran in that fighting as the bigger pressure fighter, he would have given Hurd the momentum that he wanted, and probably would have ended up on the ropes more often than he was. What Julian Williams did was, okay, I'm not going to run. I'm going to box from long range. If he comes close and gets past my jab, I'm going to box him mid-range. And if all else fails, I'll fight him inside. Screw it. I'm going to throw body punches. I'm going to throw uppercuts. Just the whole shebang. And that Julian Williams versus Jarrett Hurd performance is still one of my favorite fights ever. Of all the hundreds of years of boxing, that's one of the fights that I go back to constantly because it was a masterclass in boxing. It's a shame that was really only the singular great performance of Julian Williams. He never ended up living up to that, but just that fight alone. So anyway, what I'm trying to illustrate here is that Roy Jones makes a good point, but I don't know if Crawford's going to be able to fight punch for punch against Canelo on the inside. That it might lead to him getting stopped. I don't know. But I certainly understand the logic of trying to tire Canelo out because Canelo, we know, if you can take his punches and he just keeps hammering you and you keep on taking them, he doesn't really have a lot of reserves in the tank because he's putting everything he has into those single shots. So here's what Roy Jones ended up continuing saying. He says, listen, I'm coming here. I'm going to tip the scale as a heavyweight and I'm going to make you feel I'm a heavyweight in the first round. Bud has to do the same thing. He's got to tip the scales at 168 pounds and he's got to make you feel he's a 168 pounder when he hits the ring. If you don't do that in the early part, now you're going to have a problem, said Roy Jones Jr. And that's the other thing is when people say, oh, I don't think Canelo's going to respect him. Or people say Crawford can't hurt Canelo. Well, he doesn't necessarily have to hurt him. Canelo just has to feel the punches enough to say, if he connects with too many of those, or if he connects with one really on the nose, I might be in trouble. So let me tighten up my defense here and throw less punches. That decrease in activity could be the window for Crawford to win this decision. Again, remember, guys, Crawford doesn't have to dominate Canelo. I know that's what a lot of his supporters are expecting, that Crawford's going to school Canelo, but he doesn't even have to do that. You win a fight by winning 7 rounds. You win the fight by winning the most rounds. So these people are thinking, oh, Canelo is going to lose 9-3, 8-4, whatever. Crawford just has to win enough rounds, bank enough rounds, edge certain rounds. He gets a decision. He's the darling of the boxing establishment right now. People say Canelo's the A-side. Crawford is the guy that you look at the media. They've really sanctified him after the Errol Spence bout. He can do no wrong. Look at the way people talk about him. Look at the way the media lathers him up. It's almost like he's one of those vestigial virgins from the Greek Orphic rites or whatever they were. The Greek what do they call them? The seers who could see the future, the past, present, future, look beyond the veil. That's what Crawford's become. He's become boxing's vestigial virgin because he does have a virgin record. Something weird is going on here. Let me tell you. See what people in the chat are saying. Team Batman Boxing says facts. He's a great fighter, but Canelo beats him. Langsbury says check Crawford for exploding gloves. Oh, the exploding gloves. You're going to watch out for those. Grunge77 says Canelo will come forward and Crawford will counter him many times. Well, we'll see about that. LT says salute BDA. I haven't slept for shit. I don't even know if that's the real LT, by the way. Mohammed Amhard Bruce Lee says, how does Canelo stop Bud's double leg? He's strong. He's got that dog. You see, you can't argue against that logic. Nerd says apparently Crawford will beat Canelo because he wrestled up a big baby, Wash Ali and Shannon Sharp. It shows his superior melanated strength. Unknown Tomato says this is the strangest super fight. Fans from each side think the other fighter is washed. Yeah, that's a good point. And, for a fight where you got two guys that are washed, it certainly is still bringing in a lot of hype. A lot of hype. Speaking of hype, Crawford is finally doing his part in trying to sell a fight. Usually he's just, like I said, I'm mumbling, I'm just going to do what I got to do. I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to be me. Usually he lets Bomac and his big fat mouth do the talking, but this time he's really getting into it. Although I don't have to necessarily enjoy or appreciate the way he's going about it, because the way he's going about it is he's just going out there and doing this. Video after video now. And I'm hesitant to do a compilation because then how's that going to make me look? But he's going around wrestling men all over the place. He's putting his arms around men like here, grinding up to them, putting his crotch on them and just grinding up to them. It's weird. And he's wearing these like short shorts. I don't know if they're riding up or maybe they're just naturally short. I don't even know if he's wearing underwear. Again, I don't want to know. I don't even know why I'm asking these questions, but it's just weird how often he likes to put his hands and arms around other men. And don't forget, he just recently had a baby with another woman that's not his so-called life partner, or whatever they want to call it nowadays. I don't even know now if that's just a front for him to sort of distract people from this type of stuff of him just going around putting his hands and arms and crotch all over other men. It's weird. And yeah, so whenever I look at it, I remember in the PR days, that's what they used to do. They had a gay guy who was becoming a big star, and they didn't want people to know that he was indeed a homosexual, so they would plant a beard. That's slang for a fake wife or girlfriend. So you'll see some of these Hollywood actors too. You'll see them with the hottest girl, the hottest celebrity, but they're never kissing, they're never being even remotely intimate or in public. All they do is hold hands. Maybe they're just old school, maybe they're just traditional and they don't want to show any type of affection in public. But oftentimes you'll find out in the long run that these women wear beards. So that's what I'm thinking here with Terence Crawford, just putting his arms all over people, all over other men, sometimes without their consent, if you can believe that. And so it's just weird. So wouldn't you know it, that's we had another instance of Terence Crawford going around wrestling people. This time, Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Let's go check this out. Look at this. Look at Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Sort of enjoying that. Crawford's got his eyes wide open. Like he feels something. Maybe, I don't know what he's feeling. He's feeling the strength or he's feeling the strength of everything. If you know what I mean.
We'll play hard, too. You're mine now, so I'll let you go. You are mine. You are my meat. You're my possession. Go!
I mean, I gotta tell you, I don't know what's going on here. What is going on here? What is the purpose of this? Constantly going, and then the excuse I hear is people say, well, he's a wrestler. I've seen other wrestlers do that. Wrestlers from the UFC. It's like, okay, does that make it right? How do you know those guys aren't homos too? So I don't understand the logic. No, that happens all the time, bro. That's something that maybe they get told by these wrestlers. These gay wrestlers, like these people that even probably aren't even wrestlers. They just wrap their arms around these people and then they whisper in their ears, don't worry about it, bro. I'm a wrestler. This is what we do. And then these people just go, okay. I don't know. Maybe some of these dudes are just naturally homosexually submissive or something. I don't know. But it's weird. Let me tell you, it is weird. Let's play the video. And again, I should have put a disclaimer here. Viewer discretion is advised. Look at this.
That's an expensive injury. Get big baby up.
And there's all these dudes around them, like egging them on. Look at this. What is that? Like, this looks like a gang rape, man. What is this? Yeah, go get that. Go get that ass, bro. Get that ass. Get that ass. Making fucking moan. It's like, what? What's going on here? This is bizarre. Oh! This is bizarre, let me tell you. Check his pockets, like they're gonna mug him now too on top of it. By the way, people keep saying that, oh, look at Crawford's strength, look at Crawford's strength. Because then afterwards he starts wrestling Miller again. He couldn't get out of this position. I mean, if Miller wanted to, he could have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's throwing out the N-word on top of that. Look at this. His pants are sagging. Look at that. He's a Terrence Crawford, like he's like a 19-year-old rapper or something with the saggy pants. I gotta tell you, this is a bad look for Crawford. Now here, but they're not done yet. No. There's got to be more male-on-male contact. Check this out. Now he starts grabbing Miller. Okay, so Miller's talking to this guy. Saying, did you, you're going to get the first hit on Crawford? You want to hit it first or, do I go first? Well, I already went first. That's what they're talking about. So then Crawford surprises him by grabbing him from behind. Look at this. So when people say, oh my God, he's so strong. Well, I mean, he caught Baby Miller by surprise. Now he's reciprocating. I don't know if that's how they do it in prison. Oh. They reciprocate. They go, okay, you hit it, now I hit it. Outrageous. This is outrageous. Look at this. So there you have Crawford. Look at this. His pants are falling off. Like he does this often, I think. This is quite clear now. He does this. He's already got the system down. He starts unzipping the pants a little bit, untightens the belt, so that when he starts wrestling people, his pants naturally come off. He doesn't have to do that. He can use both hands, and all he has to do is like wriggle his hips a little bit, and the pants fall off, and he's ready for a party. He's ready for the evening. Look at this.
Yo, baby, it's Crawford! I can't believe it!
So he's got a fat Baby Miller, took him by surprise. Now he's just pushing him. And look how happy Crawford is, by the way. Look how happy he is that he was able to get another male-on-male contact. He's going to go back to his hotel room and he's going to have some he's going to use his memory. He's going to put that in his wank bank. Look at that. I had your big ass. Did you hear that? People, please tell me I'm not imagining things. Let me boost the volume here a little bit. I had your big ass. That's what he's gonna tell people at the local club that night when he goes to his special club, the one with the when they got the leather jackets and the leather whips and the leather masks and all that. That's what he's gonna tell him. Oh, I had his big ass. I already had it. I already had that big ass. I gotta tell you, this is outrageous. This is unconscionable. To be talking about this on the 4th of July, by the way, is really disgusting. But I mean, I had to bring it up to you fellas because if I just talked about it, you weren't gonna believe it. People are gonna say, "Nah, BDA, you're making this." If I would have told you, Terrence Crawford once again put his arms on around another man, started humping him, pants falling down while he's doing it, you would have said, "BDA, stop it. That's another one of those BDA's dirty jokes. I can't believe it. We can't believe it." Shame on you, BDA. So I had to show you, like they say nowadays, the receipts. And I wish I didn't have to, but check this out. This is him now wrestling Nico Ali Walsh. Where he's trying to drag him to, I don't know. He's trying to drag him behind the shed, I think. Look at this. Where's he taking him? He's abducting people now. And look at how close he gets.
You did, Nico.
He gets close to him, then he starts whispering in his ear. What is he whispering in his ear?
Play my game, yeah. You want to play? I'll play with you. Go!
I mean, I gotta tell you, this is bizarre. This is indeed bizarre, and what is going on here, man? I gotta tell you, it's enough of this. Enough of this nonsense. I don't even know why we're doing this early in the morning. Muhammad Amhar Bruce Lee says, how are you going to wrestle with saggy jeans? Well, there's only one type of person that does that. Actually, there's two types of people. People who are careless with their attire, who are unable to buckle their belts properly, or the second kind of people. The type of people, like I said, they go to bars with the ABBA music, with they're playing I Will Survive quite often there. And I know people are going to say, well, how do you know what they play over there, BDA? Well, how do you not know? So if you walk into a gay bar, you got to know what a gay bar is so that you don't get stuck in one, dum-dums. LT says he's been doing cocaine. Earl Stevens says, what the fuck, what's up with that guy? I mean, I got to tell you, and that's the thing that nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about this. People just, well, I mean, there's a couple of us talking about it, but everyone else is just hypnotized. The Desperado says that's how they establish dominance in the wild. Sergeant says, Joshi activity. Ah, come on. Leave Joshi alone. Langsbury says, village people parties. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Earl Stevens says, "What's up with this guy wrestling everybody?" LOL. I gotta tell you, it's weird. It's very, very, very weird. Even borderline criminal, if you ask me. But shout out to everybody out there. Don't forget to hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. Hopefully you're enjoying the show so far. This is the BDA Morning Call-In Show. I'm going to be opening up the phone line soon in case anybody wants to call in. But let's get the bad taste out of that situation right now. And let's talk about Tyson Fury. The always enigmatic Tyson Fury. Because, I don't know if you guys saw the news, unsurprisingly, a week ago, he came out and said that he's coming out of retirement. Then he said, actually, no, I'm not coming out of retirement, or I don't know what I'm going to do. Now he's talking about, he's going to come out of retirement. He wants a big fight. And check out what he had to say about the Usyk fights.
Would I rather fight right now? Usyk. Because I want me revenge.
So he says, who would I want to fight right now? Usyk. Because I want my revenge, he said.
In England, that's all I want. I want a fair shout. And I don't believe I've got a fair shout the last 2 times. So I don't know what I'm going to have to do because I can't really go to the decision. But, that's the one I want. But if I don't get that, then it'd be Joshua, the biggest British fight that will ever happen. And it would break all records. And he would sell out 100,000 at Wembley in an hour.
So then he says, I want Usyk, the third fight. I believe I won the first 2. I don't know what I have to do to win a fight. I have to knock him out. And I'm thinking, come on. It's interesting how a person can lie to themselves about those fights. I know professional fighters tend to self-hypnotize themselves, right? Because a fighter can't go out there and say, I lost legitimately. There always has to be an excuse. Otherwise, they're admitting, I wasn't good enough. But this whole concept of, I won the both fights because they're giving it to Usyk just because he's from the Ukraine and politics, it really is a stretch here.
That's the one I want. But if I don't get that, then it'd be Joshua, the biggest Brit.
See how? So in other words, what he's doing now is he's just trying to save face. He doesn't really want to fight Usyk a third time. He's just saying, I want that. He's trying to let people know that he wants it. But what he really wants is that Joshua fight. That's why he then went to it. It's like, that Joshua fight, that would break records. He's certainly more enthusiastic about that fight than about an Usyk fight. Because, by the way, if he really feels that he got robbed against Usyk, they can't rob you a third time. That seldom happens. But he did very well in the first fight. Then in the second fight, he comes in fat as shit, or even fatter. What did he think was going to happen? There was no late rally. There was no mid-fight rally there from Fury. He never hurt, or at least never appeared to hurt Usyk to the body. He could potentially beat Usyk in a rubber match, but he'd have to slim down the way he was in that first fight.
Fight that will ever happen, and it would break all records, and he would sell out 100,000 at Wembley in an hour. And it's a fight that I think can happen for sure if I decide to come back and the deal's right. If I did come back, hypothetically speaking, if I was to return and I was to box Daniel Dubois, he wouldn't land the glove on me. It'd be a one-sided beatdown. What
do you guys think? You think Fury, first of all, Fury-Joshua, how do you think that goes? Do you think Joshua is mentally shot? Because again, that's what people have been saying for years now. But do you think he's mentally shot, or do you think he still has something for Fury? Do you think a guy as heavy as Fury should have a tune-up, maybe lose a little bit of weight, see how his reflexes are looking? Same thing with Joshua. Do you think Joshua should have a tune-up, and who would you pick to win a fight between Fury and Joshua right now? And perhaps more importantly, or significantly, if we're talking about a more significant fight, Joshua versus Dubois, how would that one go? I'm curious to see if people still think that Fury has something left for these youngins, because again, people were saying, he's avoiding the Usyk fight, that he was avoiding it, and he certainly seemed to throw in a lot of obstacles in the lead up to the fight in 2023. When they were first, they started talking about this fight in late 2022. And then throughout 2023, there were shenanigans and, hold on a second. My audio is crackling here. Hold on a second. So you guys let me know who you want to see. Oh my goodness gracious, what's this? Something's opening. My editing software is opening when I didn't even, all right, there you go. Should be okay now. But what I was going to say is, so Fury, I understand he may not have wanted that Usyk fight, but because of its danger, he was able to get himself in shape, at least for the first one. Could he mentally psych himself up or motivate himself, for lack of a better term, for a Joshua or a Dubois fight? Maybe a Joshua fight, he would be willing to take that one because maybe he really does believe Joshua is mentally shot or mentally weak and that he can break him in the later rounds. But Dubois, certainly quicker on that trigger than Joshua was. Again, Joshua's 35, I think. Joshua's 35, whereas Dubois is a relatively fresh 20-something-year-old. Fury, again, another guy in his mid to late 30s. Does he have the wherewithal to beat Daniel Dubois? You guys let me know. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. But again, Terence Crawford is not the only one with the bizarre homosexual behavior in boxing. No, sorry, Bob. Tyson Fury, too. He might be kid. Tyson Fury is more of a joker than Crawford, who you can tell Crawford's the type of guy who likes to make jokes about other people, but never makes fun of himself. No self-deprecating behavior. Takes himself way too seriously. Whereas Fury is a little bit more on a different spectrum. But this is still bizarre. Let me tell you. Check this out.
I see you've been in the sex shop again.
Ooh, I've got myself a little Usek. I'm getting ready for when we fight in April 26. In the meantime, he's going to get fucked.
Now, you know I'm going to have to put that into the soundboard. What is going on here?
He's going to get fucked. He's going to get fucked. He's going to get fucked.
That's what Terence Crawford says when he wrestles somebody. He looks at the people and he says,
he's going to get fucked.
I got to tell you, I don't know what's going on here. What's going on in boxing?
Go!
This is bizarre, let me tell you. So that's Tyson Fury trying to pump himself up. I don't know if pump is the word I should use, but yeah, that's what people are working on nowadays. Fury certainly still seems to be taunting Alexander Usyk, despite the fact that Usyk has proven twice to be the better man. Speaking of being the better man, Fury was also at a fight in Turkey midweek, which I didn't even know was taking place. It was, I forget who it was. I don't know if it was Bray or Emeritus Mueller's. Shout out to one of those guys or somebody else. I forget. They told me, hey, there's a fight, or it might have been Bogdan Dinu. Be that as it may, somebody told me, hey, there's a fight going on in Turkey right now between Albert Batirgaziev, who's an Olympic gold medalist, taking on the always tough Jazza Dickens. I said, what, really? So anyway, I was watching the fight. Jazza Dickens ended up pulling off a major upset against the gold medalist, stopping Batirgaziev in the fourth round. Ended up dropping him a couple of times. I didn't catch the beginning of the fight, the first round, so I missed this. Shout out to whoever posted this in the Discord. I forget, but...
The challenger, James Dixon!
This reminds me of the old Pride FC days. Remember Pride Lady, Crazy Pride Lady? Vanderlei Silva. That's what this reminds me of. You know, at first it was bizarre because you got a lady that looks like an old Carrot Top there. And I'm thinking, what is this? What is she autistic or something? Is she spurging out? But this actually makes it more entertaining. What do you guys like? Diamante with his dirty hair? The fight starts now. Or this?
The challenger, James Dixon! The challenger.
Yeah, I like this. Yeah, King Arthur in the chat says this is better. This is definitely much better. Get this crazy Turkish red-haired lady, whatever she's, I don't know if she's Turkish, whatever she's from, I don't really give a shit. Get her on all these major cards. I'm tired of Diamante. Michael Buffer's past his peak now. He's definitely past his prime. Jimmy Lennon Jr., he's a real true boxing fan, but it's showtime. Actually, no, I do like Jimmy Lennon Jr. But mix it up. If you can't get Jimmy Lennon Jr., get these ladies, what I'm trying to get at. Because Diamante or the other guy who says, now we're going to find out who's el más macho. It's like, come on, that at least if you said, we're going to find out who is el más chingón or something like that, right? Make it, spice it up a little bit. But they're all pale in comparison to this crazy broad. Check this out again.
The challenger,
I wonder what insane asylum they got this bitch from. Let me tell you, she's good. She's good. Don't let that derogatory bitch throw you off. I'm in awe. I respect this woman. I want to see her on more cards. Is what I'm saying. Look at that. Even see the guy in the back there. He's the guy that does the preliminary ones. Probably. He's laughing. He's got a fake smile because he knows he just got outshined and outworked by this lady. You see the guy in the back there? Yeah. He's got a little smile like, I can't top that. Just accept when you lost, buddy. Accept when there's somebody better than you. And life gets a lot easier, let me tell you, because you can't be the best at everything. Believe me, I know it's hard to believe, but even a jack of all trades such as myself, I'm not the best at everything. There's some things that I just can't do. And that guy in the back, that's something that he should be accepting. What else was I going to say about this? Well, that's the other thing. Is some people are saying that Jazzy Dickens was already on the decline. He lost a couple of fights in the build-up to that. Looked like he was about to retire. That was it. His life, his career was about to end, and then he ended up pulling out that big upset. So shout out to him. I wonder if we're ever gonna be seeing him
ringside, Gold Coast Convention Centre.
I don't know. You guys think he's good enough for that? You think he's good enough to be
ringside, Gold Coast Convention Centre?
I don't know. I really don't know. That lady should be over there, that's for sure. She deserves to be at the Gold Coast Convention Center. Let's see what people in the chat are saying. Don't forget to hit that like, fellas. Hit that like, hit that like, hit that like. Langsbury says, there you go. He read my mind. Ringside, Gold Coast Convention Center. AJ92 says, can she be honorary raza? Well, in my book, she already is. I've already anointed her a Haina. Muhammad Al Bruce Lee says, I see about 10 announcers around the world per day watching all these fights I do in different sports. Ryzen. Is it Ryzen or Ryzen? Is the best one. By the way, what is Ryzen? I always get those confused now. 1FC, Ryzen. Is that kickboxing or is that MMA? King Arthur Boxing says, take your hat off to that lady, BDA. Absolutely. Not only am I taking my hat off, I'm pulling a Crawford. I'm pulling my pants off for her too. How about that? Sergeant says, messed up voice. Come on. OG Blaze says she's got the old smoker's voice. Yes, she's got like the old grandma aunt voice. How you doing, honey? How you doing, BDA? Are you hungry? You want a sandwich or something? AJ92 says, Mas Macho Instant Classic. Earl Stevens says, you got to put that on your intro, BDA. Yeah, we got a couple of things on tap here. By the way, people always say, hey, when's the next BDA episode? When's the next BDA episode? We never go out of style, let me tell you. We are actually quite, we just did, the BDA Board of Directors and the Research and Development Lab just did another census to see what type of audience we have in conjunction with the YTBC metrics. And our audience, first of all, not only is it quite upscale, but it transcends all other demographics. We actually have people listening to us who are blue-collar type people. We got students. That's the thing, that we're actually quite popular with the young crowds. If you don't believe our videos, let me tell you, people love watching the BDA. That's it. All the cool kids are watching and listening to this show. So make sure to be a cool kid yourself and hit that like. Hit that like. Spread that BDA gospel. What else was I going to say here? What else we got on the news? So that's shout out to Jazzy Dickens. See, that's the thing about the sport. You got to love the sport of boxing when a journeyman like that, gatekeeper, whatever you want to call Jazzy Dickens, falls on hard times, and then he manages to pull out a big win. What else we got here? Oh, yeah. I forgot to say this. Hey, sticking with the Crawford-Canelo thing, I got to tell you, speaking of the Research and Development Lab, we got to get into some of this. We used to have the supercomputer, Gaia 500, and it started peering in, because it's a supercomputer. It's what do they call it? Abadatic or whatever they call it, quantum computer, which actually managed to peer into different timelines to see what can happen. And sometimes you can peer into the future, but unfortunately the computer went mad. And so to avoid a nightmare apocalyptic AI scenario, we had to shut it down and put it in quarantine. So right now it is lying in wait until some sort of eco-fascist nut job resurrects it. But we're taking measures to prevent that from happening, or we're just not sure it can work 100%. Be that as it may, people are already trying to figure out and peer into the future to look at how Canelo-Crawford's going to look I think this is from the future. I think we're getting snippets here from the future. Check this out.
In those shots, don't take it to why he's not picking it up. Absolutely.
Look at that. That's Canelo-Crawford right there. In the flesh. But we only get, it's low quality because of, again, the Heisenberg effect, all this type of shit, physics shit, you wouldn't understand it. But because of that, we're not able to get full 1080p footage of the fight. But this is something here.
In those shots, don't take it to why he's not picking it up. Absolutely. Good jab. Fluid.
And there is Canelo dropping with a
The second round.
nice uppercut.
In those shots, don't take it to why he's not picking it up. Absolutely. Good jab. Fluid.
And there is
I don't know who made this, by the way. It says it's from Ring Circle 12, the channel. But I don't know if that's the guy who made it or if he got it from TikTok or whatever. But shout out to whoever made that. That's actually quite impressive. I don't know how they did that. What else are people in the chat saying? AJ92 says, I feel like you tasked Food TV with that. No, Food TV didn't make that. But if he did make it, I'd like to know how he made it. That's for sure. Miso Dionysian says predictive programming. Hey, maybe. You know, I was going to do a second Renaissance yesterday, but then I had to get up early to do this one. So I didn't want to stay up late and do a second Rennie. Maybe I'll do one tonight. I don't know. Depends on how things go. Desperado says HAL 900 malfunctioning. Muhammad Hard Bruce Lee says there's about 15 Mexicans who use there and there correctly. I mean, I see a lot of, everybody does that. I see a bunch of gringos do that too. They don't know the difference between there and there. Rafael says, well, there's only a limited amount of women, 15 maybe, that are skilled and can put their punches together. That's why Holy won. Dang, you talk about female boxing? No, sorry, Bob, but we don't do that here. Alfredo Contreras says, YTBC technology. Jewish Johnny says, am I your only Jewish viewer? I would hope so. No, I'm kidding. All right, so that's what we've got there with Canelo-Crawford. Speaking of Jarrell Big Baby Miller, when he's not busy getting sexually active with Terence Crawford, he's being mentioned in fights. Now, Deontay Wilder, who just recently had a comeback victory over there in Wichita, Kansas, fighting in the farm fields of Wichita, Kansas, recently named Jarrell Big Baby Miller as a possible opponent. He said, if that fight do land for him, speaking of bad grammar, if that fight do land for him, I hope he already paid for his grave burial, Wilder told TMZ Sports. I can't wait, Wilder said. So there is some history between Wilder and Miller. Apparently those guys sparred way back in the day. And even Baby Miller admitted that Wilder got the best of him. Because again, it used to be a bad style matchup for Miller. Because Miller is a ponder. He ponders forward. He's a lummox, close to 300 pounds, very slow. He banks on being able to take his opponent's best shots, keep coming forward and wearing them down. But against Wilder, Wilder is a quick-handed guy who can get that punch across before Miller sees it. And I wouldn't have been surprised to have seen Wilder stretch out. All right, bad choice of words there, because you guys are probably still thinking about Crawford, me saying stretching out. Come on. I didn't mean to say that. All right, come on. Let's stop this shit. Come on. But he probably would have stopped Baby Miller. Just styles make fights. And I'm not sure. I'm unsurprised that Wilder got the best of Miller in that sparring session. But now, Wilder has really lost his snap on that big right hand. And let's face the facts, that's all he has. Watch that fight again in Wichita, from Wichita, Kansas. Rewatch that fight. He had no snap on that right hand. He didn't even really stop the guy he fought. He stopped him he stopped him not because of the power is what I'm trying to say, but because he wore the guy down. He tired him out because the other guy was horribly out of shape. Or I wouldn't say horribly out of shape. He wasn't in world-class shape. Let's just put it that way. So, I don't understand why these people are obsessed with Deontay Wilder. That his skills are that much better, blah, 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 improved. He looked worse than he's ever looked. Now, there is a caveat to that, and that is that he'd been inactive for, when was the last time? When he lost to Zhang, that was last year, but that was in March or April. The 5 versus 5 card. Anyway, let's say he was inactive for over a year. All right, so he was inactive for over a year. He's always had horrible technique. It's unsurprising, right, that he looked bad. But he's also 38, 39. So what were people expecting? Now, Baby Miller, maybe he can walk past those right hands because they're not coming as fast or as hard as they used to. So I would expect Miller to really lay it on Deontay Wilder. That's what I'm expecting. We got a couple of other things to get to here. What else? Scoffield. Yeah, I want to watch a little bit of the Scoffield thing. Scoffield has been making the rounds, being very proud, very boisterous of that first round victory over Tevin Farmer, which is certainly impressive, but it's quite, I don't know, it's tricky. People are saying, oh man, Cepeda's trash. Murataya's trash too, because they couldn't put a dent on Tevin Farmer. Well, actually, Murataya did hurt Farmer, by the way. People forget that. But people say, yeah, Jojo Diaz too sucks. They couldn't. Meanwhile, Kid Austin goes in there and stops Farmer inside the round. He beats everybody. That's actually what I'm hearing people say. And I'm thinking, look, a first round knockout is certainly impressive. But it doesn't equate to him being invincible. Because we didn't see what happened. If he wouldn't have stopped Tevin Farmer, would Farmer have come on strong late in the fight? Would he have made adjustment? You just never know. So yes, our first round knockout is impressive, but what I'm trying to get at here, it doesn't tell us much about the guy's skills in regards to a long-term 10 or 12 round fight. I'll give you an example. If Hagler versus Hearns were to happen today, how many people would be picking Hearns because he managed to stop Duran in less than 2 rounds? Whereas Hagler had to labor 15 rounds to win a split decision, majority decision over Duran. So just because you beat a guy faster than the other common opponents, doesn't necessarily make you better. And that's why that's the trap that some people are falling into. But we're going to get to that. Just a couple of more news here. I don't know if people saw this, but David Benavidez is going to be fighting Anthony Yarde. Benavidez as a team finally some people are saying that they're coming to their senses, joining Riyadh season, or other people are saying that they had to bend the knee and that they can't survive. Yeah, because listen, this whole thing, I don't know if he bent the knee or spread his ass cheeks or whatever people are saying, but if you want to make it in boxing now, this is where it's hot right now. Riyadh season. He was talking about Vegas. I'm a Vegas fighter. There's nothing going on in Vegas right now other than the ICE rates. That's it. And I wouldn't be surprised if Benavidez would have gone to fight in Vegas or would have stayed there. Maybe he gets picked up by ICE and gets sent to Ecuador or something. And then we never see him, hear from him again. Come on now. We got to be real here. So he's going to be fighting Anthony Yarde. Apparently, Callum Smith wasn't happy with the money. I don't know what that means. But this is an interesting fight. I've already seen people complaining about the fight. Some people saying, oh, Anthony Yarde, who the fuck is he? Listen, light heavyweight right now, what do you want? Either it's Callum Smith or some other Russian guy you've never heard of before. Because right now, Beterbiev and Bivol are set to fight each other. Although we don't even know when they're fighting, by the way. When are they going to fight? Are they going to fight? It hasn't been announced. No, nothing. I don't understand what's going to happen with that fight. But hopefully it happens. Because we're not getting Benavidez versus either one of those two guys. And, then we got Morrell next Saturday. Not this one, the next. Morrell versus Kataev, or whatever his name is. The guy that here in Canada they're calling the next Beterbiev. Even though he hasn't even come close to looking like Beterbiev, or as dominant as Beterbiev. But hey, that's what, that's the boxing world for you. As soon as you look a little bit like one guy, they're going to start calling you the next this, the next that. I still remember when Morales was on the come-up. De La Hoya was on the come-up, and they were already calling Morales the next De La Hoya. It's like, what? It didn't make any sense. And they didn't even really fight anything alike, so. It just goes to show you that's how they do it, over there in the boxing business. What else we got here? Let me just get rid of this news here. All right, so Berlanga. Oh, yeah, I want to talk about Berlanga, too. We got a lot of stuff to get. All right. So the Scofields are going around boasting about their victory over Tevin Farmer. Certainly a good win for sure. But I don't know, they're making it out now like they're pound for pound. Like, yeah, see what Floyd Schofield Sr. is going around telling everybody, see, I told you. It's like, I don't understand this whole I told you thing. What, are we just supposed to take your word that your son and fighter that you train is really what you're saying he is? How many fighters say that of their sons? He's the best, he's this, he's that. My father never said that about me, by the way. I guess I'm the exception to the rule. And I guess that's what made me the man that I am today, the success that I am today. That he never actually gave me any empty compliments. Be that as it may, Scoffield is going around telling people this, my son's this, my son's that. But then he sort of let the cat out of the bag a little bit here. Certainly some disturbing things if you know how to read into it. Check this out.
I've been told y'all when Floyd go in that ring, it ain't Floyd in that ring.
Oh, you did say that.
It's a spirit.
Oh, you did say that.
Oh, you did say that.
What is this, man?
Spirit from us hypnotizing him since he was a kid to have him when he go in that ring, he black out. He's not in there. Similar to if you read the book of Jesus when they having
the book of Jesus. You mean the New Testament? Is that what you're talking about? What's the book of Jesus?
Dinner. And he tell Judas to go do what he got to do. And Judas says no. And he give Judas a piece of bread.
By the way, those certainly are some zesty mannerisms. Look at when he says, give him the piece of bread. Look at his hand.
And he give Judas a piece of bread. Give Judas a piece of bread.
Is that how he gives other men pills to take? Why don't you take these pills, bro? They'll relax you. Next thing you know, you're waking up with your pants sagging down like you're Terrence Crawford.
And then the spirit jump in Judas, then he go do what he had to do. It's in the Bible. It's similar to that. That's why when Floyd, after the fight, when he calmed down, he's emotional. He like, I did that to my friend because now the real Floyd is there. But in that ring, you know, he's this beast. So back to the punch, I think Floyd would have damn near killed that man.
Yeah,
it wasn't Floyd in there.
It was hard. What's he talking about? What was hard? Difficult, you mean? Because hard, that makes it sound like with this zesty fella to your left there or right, whatever. You know, it sounds a little bit weird.
Ring, you know, he's this beast. So back to the punch, I think Floyd would have damn near killed that man. It wasn't Floyd in there. And he was clear open like this with his hands down, his head down, and Floyd looking dead.
So it was hard. His head was down. I mean, I was inside of him. It's just some weird stuff going on from the Scofields. But people are saying, okay, what's wrong with hypnosis? Well, first of all, when he starts talking about a spirit goes into him, this reminds me of, people have probably, this is more second Renaissance subject matter, but you've probably seen the videos where people talk about these MK Ultra type celebrities. Like Beyonce, who's always talking about how a spirit goes inside of her. Or there was the other one, and this is a more salient example, Serena Williams, or one of the Williams sisters, those Afro-Anglo girls with the big asses. Those asses look like they stink, by the way. But anyway, the Serena Williams sisters, apparently the big thing was that they used to be hypnotized too, I think. I forget if they were hypnotized by their father, who, again, kind of like Schofield Sr., from an early age, grooming their progeny to be these big celebrity levels superstars, sports stars. And one of the Williams sisters always used to talk about how a spirit would go inside of her and how she had multiple personalities. There was one that was kind of meek. Then there was the dominant personality. Then there was the personality that was more vociferous and would scream at people and would get angry. And I'm thinking is that bipolar disorder? Is that multiple personality disorder? That's not something that I'd be bragging about. And again, MK Ultra, if you read into it, it was all about breaking people through torture, putting people under duress so that their mind would fragment into different personalities that could then be manipulated. So there's something going on here with the same thing. By the way, the only thing about the Williams sisters is that they're secretly men. If you watch the pictures if you see pictures of when they were younger, they look like boys. They look like boys, but it's just that they put long hair on them. So the theory is that the father turned them into women so that they would have a genetic advantage in the tennis court. But again, I'm going very, very far with this. I don't even know if that's true or not, but I'm just saying, this is what this sounds like. It reeks of MK Ultra hypnosis type stuff. Let's hear it again.
I've been told y'all when Floyd go in that ring, it ain't Floyd in that ring.
Oh, you did say that.
And by the way, I mean, you get Floyd Schofield Sr., the way I tell you, my son, and then look at how Junior
in that ring.
Oh, you did say that. You did say that.
You did say that. This looks, if I didn't know who these people were, if I wasn't a boxing fan, somebody just showed me this, and I saw this zesty guy there, Floyd Schofield Sr., And then the other guy going, oh yeah, you did say that. I would think, okay, this dude is like a club owner or something, right? Like a gay club owner. And this guy, this young guy, that's his twink boyfriend that he's going to get rid of in 6 months from now. That's what they look like. And that's what they sound like too.
Floyd in that ring.
Oh, you did say that.
Oh, you did say that. And he's wearing that thing there that the Afro-Anglo women put on their hair to protect it after they take a shower or something. I don't know. It's weird, man. The Scofields are acting weird. And they've been acting weird for a long time now. And one thing that I discovered is there's a lot of YouTubers that get into it with them on top of that. Because I think Scofield, I know for a fact, he got into it with Greg Hackett. He's a guy that's always on that Philly channel, that Philly YouTube boxing channel. And he got into it with him, something awful, to the point where they were talking about how they were going to fight each other. So that's what we got there with the Scofields. Schofield, by the way, senior, his thing is, or his stereotype, what am I getting at? His calling card is that he's always infringing upon his son's interviews. And now we find out that he's hypnotizing his son. And that's the other thing. You will recall the case that I've always, again, I try to point things out here that, and I got to give credit to Rapid. He's the one that first pointed this out. People always talk about, there's Cus D'Amato and how he found Tyson in the inner streets and turned him into a warrior. Oh, Cus D'Amato. They always wax nostalgic about Cus D'Amato, Mike Tyson, like it's a fairy tale. I look at it with suspicion. I see this old white guy, and I don't say white guy in a derogatory thing. I'm just trying to highlight the racial and cultural divide that makes this story even weirder. So you get this old white guy who hadn't been relevant as a boxing trainer in ages, goes into the inner city, finds this young, troubled 15-year-old kid who'd also been sexually abused by then too, by the way, who's built like a Neanderthal, who's robbing old ladies, gets him to the middle of nowhere in a cabin in the woods, hypnotizes him, and turns him into a warrior, turns him into a Mandingo, Django Unchained type warrior. Oh yeah, now I'm going to pitch you to fight against people. Nobody said anything about that. Then I don't know if he fed Teddy Atlas's niece to Tyson, sort of like a reward, like the old gladiator days. Hey, you won your fight. Now here's this young maiden that you can procreate with or that you can have coitus with. I mean, I don't know. And then Teddy Atlas like, oh yeah, I pulled a gun on Tyson. Yeah, you didn't use it, did you? Because maybe you knew that you were in the wrong. Or maybe Cus D'Amato told you, what are you doing? That's his reward for fighting. So anyway, it's all very weird. People really don't look into that type of stuff as much as they should. They just go, oh yeah, what a great story. Cus D'Amato and Mike Tyson, this old white guy hypnotizing this 15-year-old, this black child who doesn't know the difference. He doesn't even know how strong he is. Something is wrong here. Sergeant says, Teddy, not about that action. Yeah, he really isn't. He really isn't. You pull a gun out on somebody because you're going to use it. And he was at a disadvantage against a child. Put that into your head. Think about that. Muhammad Amhar, Bruce Lee says, I thought you said niece, not niece. Yeah, I guess my accent got in their way there. Miso Dionysius says, Floyd is getting sissy hypnotized. Oh man, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Raphael32, shout out to Raphael, says it was a rumor that Cus was gay. Oh boy. I mean, I don't know. Wouldn't surprise me. Raphael says, and true media. I don't know what he's referring to there. Dwayne Skydog Allman, shout out to Dwayne Skydog Allman. Love the pick there of Dwayne Allman, one of the best slide guitarists there, if there ever was one. Says, this is a zesty interview. It really is. BDA means hell. Stop BDA. Well, listen, yeah, I stopped. I'm not going to get too much into that anymore. It's disturbing. I don't like getting into it. You guys think I like watching these Crawford videos of him wrestling people? But I just got to point it out to people because they missed the important aspects of this shenanigans that are occurring. Dwayne Skydog Alman says, Afro-Anglo girl with a big ass. That's not very specific. You're right. That doesn't really narrow it down. I did mention that they look like their asses stink. So I guess I did provide a little bit more to that. Langsbury says, not to take away from him, but it was too soon for Farmer to come back. He'd been through some tough fights. I mean, listen, it's very difficult to criticize a first-round knockout. The only reason I criticize it is because people are extrapolating a little bit too much from it. That's all. Raphael says True Media got into it with Scoffield Sr. as well. Okay, yeah, that's who he was. It was Coach Malachi who got into it with. I don't think he likes Scoffield Sr. In fact, I suspect there's other people that don't like it because I don't know if you guys saw, but Fight Hype just recently posted a video. It's just one round of sparring, but it's still a significant round of Abdullah Mason sparring Floyd Schofield. Now, I couldn't get through the whole video because they put some annoying sound effects every 2 seconds. But it's really Abdullah Mason having his way, or getting the best of, getting the best of Schofield. And the reason why the way they edited it is they're clowning on Schofield. So I do wonder if those Fight Hype people who are very close to the Mayweathers, maybe Mayweather doesn't like Schofield or Schofield doesn't like Mayweather. I don't know. But it was weird watching them try to denigrate Schofield so much. And I guess the Schofields bring it onto themselves via Papa Schofield or Mama Schofield, as some people call him, because, yeah, he can be quite annoying. Constantly barging into the interviews, constantly talking about, my son is the best. I got to play you this. I don't know who this guy is, but this guy does a very good impersonation. I already played this before, but it bears repeating.
Honest. Since we being honest.
This guy's doing a
honest.
This guy's doing a Floyd Schofield Sr. impersonation.
Cause Shakur ain't no tank. Who did Shakur fight? Cause my boy, Floyd Schofield is the best, hands down. And I can't tell y'all that.
Yeah, that's the part. This video is from a while back, but when he said that,
I kept telling y'all that.
That's what he's doing now. That's what he's really doing in real life. Schofield Sr. say, I told you my son's the best. First of all, he beat Tevin Farmer, right? Let's not make it out to be like he knocked out Shakur Stevenson in a round. But that's how he is. I kept telling you. Okay, so we're just supposed to believe what you say about your son, like you're not biased or anything?
And I kept telling y'all that.
Oh, jeez.
We want the fight with Tank. We'll take the fight with Shakur. Anybody.
You know, if they're going to fight Shakur Stevenson again, just make sure to get some flavonoids, get some garlic in you, get a lot of things that are going to boost your immune system, because we don't want to see his son lying in bed again near death because of some sort of mysterious virus. Come on now. What's going on here? But yeah, I want to keep watching more Floyd Schofield Sr. I want to see why people, because I haven't really watched too many. I've seen snippets on the internet of him calling this guy out, calling that guy out, beating up his girlfriend. But I've never really seen entire interviews. So let's watch this. His recent appearance on the Porter Way podcast. That's the Sean Porter podcast, of course. And let's see what, again, Senior had to barge into the interview. Let's have a gander here.
Train with, I feel like if Shakur needed to bring in Sean.
Oh, hell no.
He said, that's what I want to hear.
Look at that. He was hovering. They all laughed because he was hovering. Schofield, for about a minute and a half, was just hovering there out of frame, waiting in time to barge in here and take over the interview.
Dad, where you at?
And I hate these people, or not hate, but that these people always antagonize him and enable him, his behavior. They start clapping. They know, like, oh, here comes zesty Mama Schofield. Gonna make it entertaining. By the way, speaking of zestiness, what is up with Porter's tight pants there? Look at those tight pants. Is he a hipster all of a sudden? Those are the type of pants you'd see over at Greenwich Village over there in New York.
You at, Dad? Oh, hell no. That's my guy. I'm telling. Look, let me hear.
My man, my guy.
This is his opinion.
My man. Why are these guys always wearing wife beaters, by the way? They can't put on a decent shirt. Okay, I understand you want to be comfortable when you're home. That's fine. But when they go on stream, could you put a shirt on, maybe comb your hair a little bit? Look at this. Schofield Sr. looks like he hasn't even showered yet. You wake up in the morning, shower, brush your teeth, there's something. Put on some nice, fresh clothes. By the way, these wife beaters, they look like they stink, too, on top of that. Schofield always has that shower cap on, like he's an Afro-Anglo woman, like he's Halle Berry. What's going on here?
Opinion, not mine.
No, it's your opinion too, brother. You just not old enough yet. Sean, you got kids. If your son was having a fight and your son could die in that ring, and somebody you considered a friend in boxing
gonna go help.
You know, if I ever put one of my progeny into the boxing ring, I'll tell them, listen, you want to box? I'm not forcing you to box, so you're the one that wants to box. If you perish in that ring, those are the risks. You got to let your kids know what the risks are. But these guys are always talking about my son, he's in danger, my son. You know he's in danger. You're egging him on to be a professional boxer. So let's stop with let's just stop rather with the whole fake sympathy thing. My son, I'm scared for my son. No, you're not. I guarantee you, Scoffield, when his son is fighting, he's living through his son. He's actually shadowboxing in the corner. They should put a camera in the corner to see how this guy reacts mid-fights.
The enemy that's potentially trying to kill my son, and this is my friend helping him. So that was my view on it. I know you didn't mean it that way, but me being from Brooklyn, we got a different culture when it comes to friendship.
Here we go. That's the old thing too. Everyone's always got to tell you how they're different because they're from a specific place. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from New York. We don't play that shit. I'm from Staten Island. We don't do that. I'm from Orange County. We don't play that shit. Okay, who gives a shit?
And you know, you could still spar with Shakur after they had their fight if you wanted to work because of your relationship.
I don't even know what they're talking about. I don't even know what he's talking about.
That's the only reason I seen it that way. It was just like, damn, Sean could at least call me before he said, yeah, like, yo, would you be offended from this? I'm thinking about going in here with him.
Ain't calling you.
Y'all having a fight.
Y'all done got him started.
Ain't calling you.
It ain't started.
About he trying to kill my son, and let's keep it real. Shakur ain't really trying to kill nobody. Shakur trying to outpoint you.
I don't even know what they're talking about. Let's fast forward here. All right, so not even 5 minutes afterwards, Papa Scoffield leaves his son to do the interview, and he comes back.
Like, it hasn't even hit me yet that I stopped Tevin Farmer. Yeah. Like it still has not hit me. I swear when I watch the fight, it just feels like I beat up a random black guy. I'm being for real though. Like it feels like I haven't fought. It's weird. I can't process it.
Hold on. That's that hypnotizing, Sean. That's that good hypnotizing we did to him. He not in the ring.
He's bringing up the hypnosis again. You know what? That's what statistically and across the board, that's usually what abusers do. When they these MK Ultra type of people, they brag about how they were able to commit their crime. He's bragging about it. He's bragging about, hey, I'm hypnotizing my son, and there ain't nothing you can do to stop it. Because he's my son. He's my property. That's how he's looking at it. I got to tell you, Papa Scoffield is a sick man. And I don't like this. I don't like where this is going. I really don't.
When he came back in that ring, he started crying. Just like, for instance, people gonna laugh, Sean.
Oh. I wasn't crying.
I'm gonna tell you, people gonna laugh at this.
This is like watching the father with his high school kid, and he's talking in front of his friends like, I remember when my son used to wet the bed. You know, he's just embarrassing his son in front. Hey, my son was crying. You know, my son shit his pants after the fight. It's like, come on, why are you putting him on the spot?
Like, for instance, people gonna laugh, Sean.
Oh. I wasn't crying. I'm gonna tell you,
people.
Too late. He already let the cat out of the bag.
I laugh at the situation, but I give you so y'all don't think I'm crazy.
Look, he doesn't even let him finish. He doesn't even let his son clarify that he wasn't crying. He just talks over him. It's like, who talking here? Who talking? You my thing. You my pet. You're not supposed to be talking. Shit.
Started crying. Just like, for instance, people gonna laugh, Sean. Oh.
I wasn't crying.
I'm gonna tell you, people gonna laugh at this situation, but I give you.
Look at this. He's just talking over him.
I give you so y'all don't think I'm crazy. I give y'all something that the Bible say happened. When Jesus told Judas to go to do what he had to do, Judas said no. Jesus gave him a piece of bread. The Spirit jumped in him. Judas went and done what he done.
That sounds like some Muslim stuff. Yeah, it's like, oh, it wasn't really Jesus that got crucified. It was somebody else. Somebody else was put in his place.
When Judas realized what he'd done, he hung himself. The money didn't matter with betraying a friend.
Something tells me that like hanging and putting ropes around necks and stuff, that's something that Scoffield Sr. is into. You know what I'm talking about? Like some autoerotic asphyxiation type stuff. I don't know. That's the feeling I'm getting. And people might say, oh, BDA, how do you come up with this stuff? It's not that I'm coming up with this stuff. It's just that I know how to read people. And I know sometimes it's uncomfortable to have these conversations or have these observations put out there, but them's the truth. You know, I'm trying to protect people there from, because sometimes they don't see it coming, is what I'm saying. I bet you a lot of people don't see Scoffield Sr. coming, that's for sure.
Hypnotizing matters because the subconscious It's what's running in that ring. So he wasn't in that ring. The programming was in that ring.
Yeah.
So I knew
The programming. He's telling it to you straight up. The MK Ultra programming. He's like what we talked about Victor Conte in the last episode. He's engaging in duper's delight. He's telling you what he's doing without telling you, because a lot of people can't read between the lines. So he's bragging about it. It's like, hey, I'm manipulating psychologically, spiritually, and sexually manipulating my son.
I knew we was knocking him out. The same way I'm telling y'all, we'll knock Shakur out
He ain't no shit.
within 3 rounds. Easy.
And it's
so easy.
personal with him, so.
Ooh, yeah, see, these enablers, they don't even question him. They don't clap back, as they like to say in the streets. They just let their cheeks get clapped by Scoffield Sr. as he invades his interview. Look at him. Look at the mannerisms. That's what I'm telling you, girl. I gotta pause this. I gotta read what people are saying in the chat. Hopefully I'm not reading too much into this. Grievous says, ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Langsbury says, Mr. BDA's gaydar is on point. It's always on point. Mohammed Art Bruce Lee says, BDA sees gay everywhere. No, not everywhere. Just where it's at. A lot of people miss it. That's why I gotta be here and tell you guys what's up. BXG27 says, these guys never read a book in their life, let alone the Bible. Exactly. I'm going to reread the Bible. I've read the New Testament, especially the Passion part, quite often. And I don't remember the Holy Spirit going into Judas or anything. Maybe that's in one of the different Bible, maybe the Ethiopian Bible. I don't know. Buffering says, is he a Black Panther or GD? What the hell's a GD? Gay? I don't know. I don't know what he means by that. Miso Dionysus says, you know how us Brooklyn girls are. Yeah, exactly. Every time I look at Papa Schofield, this plays in my head. I mean, really, you look at this dude. First of all, I was trying to play the music while moving Schofield around with the replay here, but it's not working out. I wanted to do this. First of all, you can't even see what I'm doing. I wanted to do this. It's not even working. Yeah, I wanted to make it seem like he was dancing. Nah, but it's not gonna work out. It's not quick enough. But hold on a second.
That ring.
All right, let's keep watching.
The programming was in that ring.
Yeah.
So I knew we was knocking him out. The same way I'm telling y'all, we'll knock Shakur out within 3 rounds.
Yeah, so we're just supposed to believe Schofield Sr. because, that's what he does. He just talks a lot.
Easy. And it's so easy.
Personal with him, so.
And Tank will stop Tank. Easy. And people think,
wow. You talk that shit, girl.
I'm crazy. They've been saying it, Sean.
Look at that. Oh. Like, what is going on in this podcast?
Tank. Easy. And people think I'm crazy. They've been saying it, Sean. Whatever. Look what he did to somebody who wasn't stopped in 13 years.
Hey, Pops.
2-time champion in 13 years.
Hey, Pops.
That's not away like it's nothing.
Hey, Pops.
He didn't even break a sweat.
Hey.
He won't shut up. They're trying to get a word in on their own show. Ask a question. This guy's still blabbering. I think maybe Papa Schofield's been MK Ultra.
13 years.
Hey, Pops.
That's not away like it's nothing.
Hey, Pops.
He didn't even break a sweat.
Hey, Pops. That's not Shakur Tank, though.
Shakur is easy. Who did Shakur fight to become great?
Yeah.
How is Shakur Stevenson easy? Look, listen. Is he horrible to watch, Shakur Stevenson? Yeah. Is he a woman beater? Yeah. Is he annoying as hell? Yeah. But you got to give credit where credit's due. Shakur Stevenson is one of the best defensive fighters out there. He's very slippery, very hard to pin down. You think you're just going to go in there and blast him out like you did with Tevin Farmer? And look, listen. Maybe you can catch a guy coming out cold. That happens. But what happens when let's say you hurt Shakur Stevenson, and then he recovers and he starts leaping around the ring like a rabbit? Are you going to be able to catch him then? No. Probably not.
Give me 1A level. 1. Come on now. Sit down, Pop. Sit down. I'll wait for him.
Look at that. See, his son, you guys missed it. He actually gave a signal, like an NLP type signal under the radar that triggered Schofield Jr. Look at it. First of all, you can see it because it's cut off here. Look at Scoffield Jr. Look at his face. See how he's just looking, drifting out into space? The hypnosis has already taken place. Scoffield Sr. said, I'm taking over the interview. He snapped his fingers, and now Scoffield Jr. is in a trance, and he ain't talking anymore. That's what Scoffield Sr. is gonna trigger if the cops ever get to them. He's gonna say, "Oh shit! Now I don't want my son to divulge any information," so he's gonna stamp his fingers. And when the cops get to Junior, it's like, "Okay, what did your father do to you? What happened?" He's gonna be staring into a guy who's gone, comatose.
Come great.
Y'all had him.
Give me 1 A level. 1. Come on now.
See that? When he said the 1,
Give me 1 A level. 1.
first of all, he's saying 1, first of all, but he's actually saying 6 there. See that? He's saying 6.
A level. 1.
Now he says, look at that, 1. And as soon as he goes 1, Scoffield Jr. just leaves. Look at that. Did you see that? He even sort of hesitated because there's a little bit of resistance to it. Again, abused MK Ultra people, there's always like a resistance to it while one of the personalities is shifting onto the other.
1 A level. 1. Come on now.
Sit down, Pop. Sit down.
I'll wait for I'm not even going to ask you. So all I'm saying is, and I'm not.
And these guys are laughing it up. They don't even realize what's going on. They got no clue. If they only knew, they would not be laughing, let me tell you.
Better than him. We fighters. This is what we do. He's a 3rd generation. This is all we.
Yeah, 3rd generation abused MK Ultra. Yeah, that's what they do. It's generational.
We know. So we know a different cloth of fighting, not you two fighting. That's top rank built marketing. That's what y'all seeing. He is not like that when it comes to fighting.
By the way, this Scoffield Sr., there's something unnerving about his hair, or lack thereof, because he's got the threads or whatever they call him, but then he's bald here. He's got a big bald spot, so that he looks like Pennywise the Clown, and I'm talking the 90s version. I'm talking, what was the name of that British actor, from Rocky Horror Picture Show? Somebody please in the chat, let me know. It's too early in the morning here, but Pennywise the Clown, 92 or 1990? I was younger back then. Let me tell you, that fucking clown scared the shit out of me. Look at that. See the same bald spot? That's why they gave him that bald spot. They gave him a fluff set of hair in the back, but then he's bald up front, which just somehow makes it more unnerving. I don't know why. People are going to say, oh, it's what do they call it? The effect, the uncanny valley effect. I don't even know, but it is certainly disturbing. And look at Scoffield there, same thing. He's the black Pennywise the Clown.
He get his jaw broke, he's not going to want to fight. He's going to grab. Trust me, he's not like that. None of them. The only one like that is Tank.
I'm telling you, this dude that does the impersonation has it spot on. Let's see if you can tell the difference. Is this Floyd Scoffield or is this the guy doing the impersonation?
The best, hands down. And I kept telling y'all that. It's whatever. It's up. My son is the best.
Who is that? Is that Scoffield or is that the guy doing impersonation? You can't tell, can you? Shout out to Norman Louis who says Tim Curry. Thank you. That's the guy, Tim Curry, who apparently hasn't been doing too well. He's been in ill health the last couple of years. So shout out to Tim Curry.
Okay.
Tank is the only one like that. And that's why I said I was going to wait 2 years before Floyd fought Tank. But all them other dudes, the Devin, they can't take punches. I watched it out of my own eye.
By the way, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this because I was thinking about this the other day. Is that really true about Devin Haney not being able to take punches? Because I'm surprised that they took the Norman fight. I think it's out of desperation. But I don't think it's an incredibly... I don't think Haney's completely outmatched here. Because again, there's the big X factor, which is we don't know whether Brian Norman can close the distance. Everyone always says that, by the way. Oh, cut the ring off. Forget cutting the ring off. Can you close the distance? Because as soon as you take one step forward, Haney is going to be taking one step back and pumping that jab. So you got to be able to know how to cut the distance before you even start talking about cutting the ring off. Once you cut the distance and you're able to connect, then that's when the other guy's going to start backing up, and that's when you're going to have to cut the ring off. So people get too hung up on the cutting the ring off thing. I'm talking cutting the distance first. Cambosos couldn't do it, for example. Regis Prograis couldn't do it because they would get stuck in front of that Haney jab. Ryan Garcia could do it because he's got underrated skills. Jojo Diaz could do it because he had a high guard that he was using to snuff out Haney's jab. On top of that, he was a southpaw too, so he was sort of negating that jab, or negating Haney's jab. And that's how he was able to do it. I don't know if Norman can do it. Norman's a strong guy, possibly the strongest guy at welterweight right now in the top 10. But can he blast through that jab and get to Haney's body? I think he will, but I don't know. So what I'm trying to get at is when people say, well, Haney has a bad chin, just like Schofield said. I've certainly been guilty of saying that too before. Oh, Haney's got a shaky chin. I don't know. I know Jojo Diaz was able to shake him up, and he's not a big puncher, but he wasn't able to put him on, giving the baby deer legs like Linares did. And Linares was a puncher. Garcia's a puncher. So is Haney's chin really that fragile as some people make it out to be?
With him as a kid, before he even got this body or the experience. They can't take punches. His punches. I even watch him beat Mason up so bad. I told him, yo, why don't you just work defense, Floyd? I just had to make him work defense with Mason. Then he went in there after that and beat up Mason brothers and everybody else.
Okay, so that's why, maybe this is why Floyd Hype released that video. And by the way, it's only one round. To be fair to Schofield, it's only, you're going to take one round and if these Floyd Hype people were honest and they really wanted to humiliate Schofield, they would have posted the whole thing. Maybe they don't have it. Maybe they do. And if they do and they're not posting the whole thing, you got to wonder why that is. People put too much stock in sparring, by the way. You don't know whether one guy was in training camp and the other guy wasn't. You don't know how many rounds they'd gone. You don't know if the other guy was doing the Shark Tank where he's sparring two different guys and then the third guy is fresh. You just don't know. So take that with a grain of salt. But at the same time, Schofield Sr. puts himself in that position. He opens himself up for that type of counter-criticism or counter-PR tactics because he's so vociferous and so boastful about, my son is the best. My son beats everybody up in sparring. Well, there's one round there that shows that that's not true. So even though it's dishonest from Floyd Hype, Schofield brings it onto himself.
Floyd is on a different level. No fighter was programmed boxing. No school. All his life studying the 5 styles of boxing. Training with people like Sean Porter, all these champions. No fighter in history was developed like that. Yeah. So when it comes to a level... Again, bringing up that MK Ultra conditioning. And no fighter's ever done... And ain't nobody been programming and abusing... programming my son the way I do. It's a fact. It's a fact. All right. I don't know who comes up with this nonsense. He's the level. And we willing to prove it. I'm letting him fight him without his grown man strength. Y'all seen what he did to a grown man with no grown man strength. He's 22. I've been told him I'm trying to give y'all a chance. I've been told him. It's like tying one hand behind his back. Y'all can fight him now. That's the chance I gave, and I'm backing it up every time. So people can't say I'm crazy. Somebody poisoned him and done what they done so he didn't get in that ring. Okay, so initially they recanted their poisoning accusations. Because, if you ain't got no proof, you shouldn't be saying that. Now he's back in saying it. See, this is how short-sighted this man is. As soon as they get a little bit of something, a little bit of success with his son knocking out Tevin Farmer in one round, now they're back on the whole we were poisoned thing. Said I was crazy, but I got the text. I got the proof. I got the toxicology reports. I got the video. Can we see these so-called toxicology reports, or are you gonna keep them hidden? Just like you keep your MK Ultra electroshock therapy manual hidden, so that nobody finds out that you're abusing your son. I'm kidding. I'm saying allegedly, by the way. I'm not stating this as a matter of fact, by the way. So it's like, come on, the lawyers are all involved on every plane. So people can say what they want. How much you want to bet? The lawyers are involved. First of all, they got one lawyer probably. But that's a common trick when you want to intimidate somebody from a litigious standpoint. You say, I got my lawyers on the case. Meanwhile, you got one lawyer. But I know from fact, and we'll prove it, Shakur can't deal with his power. Not saying he's... This reminds me of Deontay Wilder's brother. Remember that? We got the autopsy report showing that Deontay Wilder was hit with a blunt object. The autopsy. I remember on Rival they used to say
I think he said Deontay Wilder's brother mistook the term. He's not talking about the autopsy. He's talking about the biopsy. That was pretty good right there.
Not good. It's just a different type of power.
Pound for Pound King says, well, hold on. What did he say? Pound for Pound King said he used Porter's name straight away so he can push back. Pound for Pound King said, where is it? Just 3 or 4 days ago, he did an interview with Mannix and said the toxicology report was clean. Well, there you go. See, I'd have to see that just to see if that's true, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's switching it up. I don't think this guy knows what he's talking about. John McSmith, shout out to John McSmith, says blunt object. LOL. Yeah, I mean, you can't dent bone. You break bone. You don't dent it. But that's what the Wilder supporters always claim. Like, look at his skull. It's dented, man. It's that skull is dented. You can't. I mean, come on, man. It's like, all right. There was just no arguing with them.
Now, and that's what I'm saying. And we showed that on Tevin.
Now,
Tevin haven't been stopped.
Dad, let me ask you this. That's the one thing that everybody talks about. They talk about the power. With the fight with Shakur, everybody said if he can't touch him with the power, he can't outbox Shakur. Are y'all prepared? Are you preparing him to do everything else that's needed in the boxing ring to beat somebody should that power not connect the way that you're used to it connecting?
I watched him spar Shakur, and Shakur only landed 4 punches in 4 rounds.
Dad, I'm challenging you right now. I'm asking you a question.
I watched them two in the ring.
But
I'll tell you this on the 5 styles of boxing, Sean. A wide stance, flat-footed fighter that jump out and use a straight line is not beating a switch fighter. In no way, shape, or form.
By the way, are people forgetting that Scoffield struggled in his last fight before the farmer fight against forget the name of the guy, but it was a short Mexican guy. Let's look it up because I got a point to make about that. People keep talking about, man, that farmer again. It was impressive. It was an impressive performance. This is what we need, by the way, from American boxing. We stop with the back foot bitching, stop with the ass style, and let's get back to knockouts. And you're starting to see that now. Albeit some of these American boxers have to turn into weight bullies to get those knockouts, but be that as it may, at least we're getting knockouts. But again, an early knockout doesn't necessarily mean that you are indeed the best. And I'm trying to find out here Schofield's record. I'm trying to put it up. By the way, just for future reference, don't forget to hit that like. It really helps us out. And it only takes 2 seconds. And I'm trying to find out Schofield's record here. There we go. Again, guys, I don't use BoxRec because they ask for your information. I always use champignon.info. So here we got Floyd Schofield, 22 years old. The last guy he fought was René Tellez Giron. Now, Giron was a little short dude. I know Mexicans, we tend to be on the shorter side, but he was even shorter. A little short dude. And check this out. Hold on a second. Where is this? Yeah. 5'5". He's shorter than that, believe me. Schofield 5'7". And René Giron lost to Rocky Hernandez in my neck of the woods here in Quebec, Canada. And he didn't get hurt in that fight, Rocky Hernandez, whereas Schofield did get hurt. Remember that? He got hurt by Giron in the early in the fight, went back to the corner, almost sat down on his ass, missed the chair. Can you believe that? He was so hypnotized by Papa Schofield, he missed sitting down on the chair. He almost fell onto his ass onto the canvas. It was weird. So, again, people are making this too much out of that knockout. It's impressive, don't get me wrong, but let's not forget, he couldn't do that to Giron. So, let's hold back that hype train here just a little bit. Just a little bit. Griva says BDA is Canadian. He's 6 feet tall. I'm like, recognize. Every day I'm getting taller. So Passive says BDA is an exception to the rule. He's 6'8" on a bad day. Well, now that's an exaggeration. Buffering says Shakur would make the Schofield fight again to test the water, see if he's really about it. Pound for Pound King says, of course, like always, one thing in one interview, then contradicts himself another interview. See, Pound for Pound King, I got to look that up, man. Because I wouldn't be surprised if he said that thing about the toxicology report in this one, and then in another one he says something completely different. Would not be surprised. Let's go back. Is this interview almost done? Because I can't take too much more of this.
Fashion, they can't reset fast enough that a switch fighter can on the ball of their feet. The angles won't be there. So they're going to get caught every time. That Philly shell only works, but it don't work with a nigga right there. It only works with the nigga right there. Right there. Right there. Fast enough that a switch fighter can on the ball of their feet. The angles won't be there. So they're going to get caught every time. Every time. Every time. Every time.
You are the dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17.
I mean, I gotta tell you. So he's saying he's throwing out the N-word. He's talking about hypnotizing his son. I mean, this interview alone will probably get this guy 50 years in jail, let me tell you. But we're not going to get into that. Shout out to the Scofields. They certainly impressed with that farmer performance. So, I mean, shout out to them. But by the way, it's something interesting. Scofield Jr. doesn't really sound as gay as his father. When he did say that thing earlier, when he goes, yeah, you did say that, he did sound a little fruity when he said that. But for the most part, he sounds like a normal young man. Scofield, on the other hand, like people have said, you can tell he's very zesty. And, you know, when people, I've gotten into discussions with people about that when people say, well, you know, being gay, people are born gay. And I always used to say, well, how come a lot of these gay guys are very effeminate? They got those effeminate mannerisms. Why is that? Are they born that way? No, that's cultural. That's growing up around women and no men, no male influences. So Scofield Sr. probably grew up around a lot of women, probably single mother. Maybe he was raised by his grandmother. I don't know. But I am surprised that his son didn't turn out that way. How come this didn't? And maybe this is where the MK Ultra conditioning comes in. Maybe he hypnotized his son into having, maybe deep within the recesses of his son's warped mind, there is a gay or it's like sort of an effeminate character. But the one that you see on the cameras, like a senior said, that's the one he wants you to see. That's the boxer, right?
That Philly shell only works, but it don't work with a nigga right there.
I gotta get him in the studio.
All right, so is that it? All right, fellas, don't forget hit that like. It really helps us out. Some Randall says Mama Hofield. Come on, man. Come on, what is this? AJ92 says, gonna say your program this morning is top notch. Hit the like, fans. Well, shout out to you, AJ92. Hope you're enjoying. I'm glad to see you're enjoying the show. And yes, fellas, don't forget to hit that like. Casamigos Kyle says that momentary lapse into fruitiness was the hypnosis. Yes, maybe that's what it was, Casamigos. Great point. Excellent salient point. Real quick, Gervonta Tank Davis. By the way, when is that Roach fight rematch taking place? Because I haven't heard anything about it. Steve Kim said that they were going to announce it soon. I haven't heard anything about it. So hopefully it's going to happen. You never know with the PBC over there. They're probably scrounging around for money, trying to come up with the money to make that fight. But what I wanted to bring up is something very interesting here. And you guys are going to... That's not it. Hold on. Now, that's Alexander Putin right there. That's not what I wanted to show you. Hold on a second. Where is it? Okay, yeah, here it is. So, Tank Davis recently came out. You know, he's got his outbursts on Twitter where he's going after people, telling people to shut up. He's going to beat them up, this and that. This is what he said. He was reposting, I don't know the politics of this, but apparently there's these two mayors from certain cities who are, well, what does he say? He says, no news outlets talking about how these two black mayors have achieved record low homicides in their cities. I don't even know if that's true or not. You know what they do in the cities. They like to juke the stats. But anyway, that's not immaterial. But the point is that that's what the headline said in this tweet. And then Gervonta Davis said, still haven't helped me with my case. Shake my head. What case? He still got pending charges or something? From what I understand, he served his time and now he's on some sort of parole or what's the other one? I always confuse parole and there's the other one. I'm on parole or they're on. Anyway, I can't believe I'm zoning out here. But yeah, from what I understand, Gervonta Davis doesn't have any pending charges, so I don't know what he's talking about. And then he said, treating me like I don't murder somebody, I can't do shit. Tank Davis just refuses to accept responsibility for what he did. He ran into a pregnant woman, and that's just one of his misdeeds, by the way. Ran into a pregnant woman, left her bleeding there as she was asking for help, fled the scene, got slapped on. He got a slap on the wrist. He was giving parole, or what was the other one? So hopefully somebody's telling me what it is. It's probation. Thank you, guys. Norman Louis and Sombrano. Thank you, probation. Yeah, I don't know the difference between the two. I'd have to ask, what's his name? Rayful Shapiro. But he got a slap on the wrist later on. And then he ended up screwing it up and got sent to jail. And he was complaining about, there's the videos that I played there on the Best of 2023 where he's complaining about the judge has it in for me. She a crazy bitch, man. She got it in for me. Like a classic convict inmate mentality. It's never their fault. It's always that they were always railroaded, the system's against them. And then they come out, black Muslims, like, I was incarcerated for 50 years for a crime that I did not commit, but now my mind is locked in to the real problem. That is a systemic problem. It's like, all right. And then they just talk and talk and talk. That was the old Martin Lawrence joke. They come out of prison, they memorize a couple of words from the dictionary, now they think they're intellectuals, and then they end up asking you for a $20 bill. But yeah, that was Tank Davis. Ran into a pregnant lady, left her bleeding, pleading for her life, pleading for help. He looked at her, fled the scene, and he still feels that he did nothing wrong. The system was against him. That's the way he feels about it. I gotta tell you, this guy has no, and so that's why when people say, "Oh, you know, my people," why do people dislike Tank Davis? Why do people dislike it? You don't see how tone deaf he sounds in that tweet, talking about how everyone's against him. Come on now. What else was I gonna say here? So okay, we talked about Scoffield. Okay, so this is one last thing. Sometimes in these little morning shows, I like to cap things off on a more entertaining note. Sort of get into watch. I don't watch, like I said, I've never watched a full interview with Scoffield Sr. I don't really watch these Fight Hub interviews and all that. Mostly I'll watch them when I'm doing a year-end review thing. Because I got to find out who said what, who said, he said, she said. So we're going to watch the face-off between Hamza Shiraz, Hamdulillah, taking on Edgar Berlanga, or as Sobers calls him, Edgar Bernalga. Well, LT used to call him Verga Larga too. So, I mean, everyone's got their own little twist on the name. But let's watch this because this fight is taking place not this Saturday, but the next. It's the main event after Shakur Stevenson versus William Cepeda. So, I'm curious to hear how demented Berlanga sounds because this dude is all over the place. He really feels he's a star now. He thinks he's pound for pound because he went the distance with Canelo Alvarez. I got a newsflash from Berlanga. So have 6 or 7 other guys lately. They all go the distance with Canelo. You think that's some sort of an achievement?
Hard-hitting super middleweights go at it in the main event for WBC #1 title eliminator. It will be Hamza Shiraz.
Look at this dude. Look at this. He looks like a lawyer for a terrorist or something.
Taking on Edgar Berlanga in his...
And then you got Berlanga with the chains. He looks like a Zoomer.
Hometown, live from the...
Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying he's got he's got the raggedy ass jeans. Meanwhile, Shiraz has his courtroom demeanor. This is after they let him out of Guantanamo Bay, and he's making his case at the International Court of Human Rights.
Louis Armstrong Stadium. That fight will be one for the ages. But today, we get into the face-off.
He's saying this is going to be one for the ages. First of all, it's not one for the ages because it's not taking place at
the Gold Coast Convention Centre.
If it was taking place over there, then you'd be talking. Then you'd be cooking with a little hot grease. Right now, it's not bad, New York, but it's not what the Australia is.
Hamza, I'll start with you. Yep. Just coming off the press conference, there's a lot of personal jabs thrown before the punches are even flying yet. You're in Edgar's backyard. The people, obviously on his side, throwing jabs at you from the crowd. How are you feeling right now?
It's a new position I've been in. I haven't been in this position before, but I feel like alive. I've got that fire in me.
You're smiling, Edgar. What are you smiling about, man? Is it
First of all, does anyone else feel like Shiraz? I mean, I don't know. Where do you guys stand on the fact that Shiraz used to be with Funes, his trainer? I gave him a lot of credit for turning him into a solid boxer, this and that. And then as soon as he has one bad showing against Carlos Adames, he kicks him to the curb. Again, I don't know the details behind that. You just never know. We can only speculate. But I still say that if Shiraz kicked him out of the gym, out of camp, because of that one bad performance, then that doesn't bode well for Shiraz. Because now it sounds like an Amir Khan situation. Remember Khan, every time he looked bad or lost a fight, he would change trainers as if it was the trainer's fault that he lost. So I'm always dubious of that type of behavior.
The fact this is in your hometown? Is it the fact that trash talk is already starting to come out? What is it?
I love that. I love it, man. I think, he needs that.
He's got 2 earrings, by the way. Look at that. Are we on the air here? What happened? I think I don't know if we zoned out there. I don't know if the Boricuas are trying to shut us down because we're going after their men. We're going after the third guy. We're back. Okay. Shout out to AJ92 for letting me know. Let's keep watching this.
And he's gonna try to box, but now, he sees the fire in me. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of fire in me. I got a lot to prove. July 12th. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot, bro.
What does that mean? He sees the fire in me. Anybody can say that. Oh, look at him. He sees that I got the fire in me.
Are you proving it to yourself? Are you proving it to everybody, or are you proving it to Hamza Shiraz?
To myself. I don't need to prove nothing to him. I don't need to prove nothing to nobody, to myself. I got this far, proving to myself, bro. You know what I'm saying? Canelo fight came, he thought I was gonna get knocked out. Look what happened. We took an L, but it's the way we took the L. We came out.
Wait. Did he say, so he's still relying or holding on to the fact that, hey, I went 12 rounds. I was supposed to get knocked out. Is that what he's proud of?
So, I got this far, proving to myself, bro. You know what I'm saying? Canelo fight came, he thought I was gonna get knocked out. Look what happened. We took an L, but it's the way we took the L.
Yeah, you got dropped by an older, smaller guy. You got backed up consistently throughout the fight. Yeah, that's how you took the L.
Came out, 20,000 people against me, 20,000 people after the fight became a fan. You know what I'm saying? So,
wait. How does he know? Like, where's he getting this from? 20,000 people came out against me. Now 20,000 people, those same people are my fans. How does he know that?
Hamza says you're a runner. So you like to run around the ring a lot. What's your response there?
I don't think I'm known for running around the ring. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had however many knockouts I've had. That's the first I've ever been.
He got Andy Lee. He got Andy Lee in his corner. I already know the game plan. I already know the game plan. I already know.
What do you think
plan, huh?
Yeah, I already know the game plan. Okay, well, can you do something about it?
How much do you want to bet I'll stand in that ring with you?
Now see, I dislike that. Now, when people come out with the bet thing, is because they're trying to get one over you. They don't have anything else. They can't argue with you, so they go, well, let's bet. As if betting is, because that's the first step of, oh, I'm so confident, let's bet. It's fucking, I don't know. It's. I don't even know if we're on the air right now. Yeah, I think we're back here. Yeah, Islamist attack. What's going on here? Are we getting attacked here? All right, just refresh your stream if it ended up lagging there a little bit. Just a little bit. We're almost done here. I don't think we're gonna be able to watch the whole thing. It's 12 minutes. We're only 3 minutes in. This I can't. I don't think I can watch 12 minutes of this.
I gotta go in there and prove something. This is not. You think?
No. I'm coming to your backyard.
Yeah. This is my shit. That's why I told Turkey. I told Turkey this is my shit. When I say Turkey at the fights, he said, "Oh, so you the king?" I said, "Yes."
Berlanga is very boisterous for a guy that's only had one knockout in the last couple of fights. And by the way, some people say, well, they criticize Canelo for that, but Canelo's coming forward and outboxing and outworking people. Even though he's throwing one punch at a time, but he's outlanding them. Berlanga is a younger guy, big dude, looks like he's about 190 something pounds on fight night. He was the guy that's supposed to be knocking everybody out, and he hasn't been knocking people out. He's barely. I mean, when you go the distance in a tough fight against Steve Rolls, and Steve Rolls, listen, if he's from my neck of the woods, shout out to Steve Rolls, a lot of respect for Rolls Royce. But Berlanga, the hype he was receiving, he was supposed to stop the guy. Golovkin stopped Rolls Royce. You couldn't do it. So that power is it just doesn't seem to be there anymore. I guess his level of opposition. Although I will say Shiraz has that pencil neck that makes it so he can be hurt. He's already been hurt twice in his career. So as far as I know, maybe he's been hurt more than that. But I know for a fact he's been hurt twice. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
My Turkey, but you the king too, cause you own all these hotels here. It's my bro. I was born, I was raised here, bro. I'm a big New Yorker, bro.
So you got a lot of fans. You got a lot of fans here, yeah.
But listen, you, Turkey's baby.
That's what you think.
I know.
So if that's the case, why am I coming to your backyard?
I know. Because you don't got no choice.
Why is Turkey set up the fight in your
backyard?
backyard?
Because you don't have no choice. Because your poppy said, "Yo, listen, we gotta fight for you. Gotta fight Balanga, but you gotta fight Balanga in New York."
If I was
can't tell
that,
Poppy,
you'd
no?
come to London.
What are you gonna tell Poppy?
You'd come to London.
Huh?
If I
go to
that,
your backyard. If he would have said you gotta fight Shiraz in London, I would have went over there.
We said.
Now, some people will say, okay, he's just selling the fight. But he's been acting this way, Berlanga has, for quite a while now. Especially in the Canelo fight too, talking up a storm. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then he shows up and doesn't do shit. So that you can do a lot of talk all you want, but once you go into that fight and you look like crap, I'm sorry, it's you gotta bring more than that to the table. And Berlanga is making the same mistake here, or what could end up being a mistake. Again, I don't know. Maybe he does end up knocking out Shiraz. But he's certainly doing himself a disservice by talking so much when we don't even know if he's going to be able to pull the trigger in that one.
Fight you anywhere. We're here. Huh? I signed the contract. We're fighting you in your backyard.
You had to take the fight.
Don't that show confidence?
Did he call him a Jew?
I signed the contract. We're fighting you in your backyard.
You.
Reminds me of Wanderlei Silva. Every time he would get mad at Chael Sonnen. Ju, no talk about Brazil. Ju. That's what he sounds like.
You had to take the fight.
Don't that show confidence? Don't that show that I'm coming to take it away from you?
He told you.
Don't that show that I'm trying to take it away from you?
Yo, Hamza, man, come on.
You know I'm coming to take it away from you. You know I'm coming.
I promise you, on Jesus Christ, on my son, you're not.
Oh, come on. He's blasphemy. They're right there, man. Bringing up our Lord and Savior's name. What is this?
Nothing for me.
I'm coming for you.
I promise you.
And I'm gonna take
That's
it.
why. All right, we're gonna see.
I'm gonna take it.
We're gonna see.
Otherwise, I won't
we're gonna
be
see.
here.
We're gonna see.
I don't do half-hearted shit. I won't be here.
We're gonna see.
Does he have Tourette's or something? Berlanga? He just keeps repeating word after word. Look at this.
We're gonna see.
I'm gonna take it.
That's why. All right, we're gonna. That's why. All right, we're gonna see.
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it.
We're gonna see.
Otherwise, I won't be here.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. We're gonna see.
I don't do half-hearted shit. I won't be here.
We're gonna see.
I don't do half-hearted shit. I don't do half-hearted shit. I won't be here.
We're gonna see.
I won't be here otherwise.
We're gonna see.
Trust me, we're gonna see.
He's look at him. Look at it. He has to have autism or something. He's bobbing up and down, back and forth like an autistic kid having a fit. Look at him. Look at that. I've seen enough autistic kids in my lifetime to know when a guy's having a fit. It's a serious thing here. It's not a joking matter. Look at him. He looks like a turtle trying to eat an apple. Look at that. Maybe he's bobbing up and down to some hip hop. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. This guy is unhinged, let me tell you. Hopefully he puts up as good a fight as he's talking. Miso Dionysian says stimming. He's gonna see. Says AJ92. Grievous says it's the gear, BDA. Well, it's something. Maybe it's the ice around his neck. It's giving him confidence. I don't know. Ball Blues Balls, shout out to, I think that's Pigeon, says, Grievous again with, okay, so he's going after Grievous. What's the matter with you? AJ92 says, Islam versus Jesus Puerto Rican flavor. Then he says, Islam versus recognizes annoying cousin. Yeah, that's why Recognize dislikes Berlanga. He's probably got a cousin like that who he identifies Berlanga with. Like, it reminds me of Flaco. That guy's always fucking annoying at every family meeting. All right, so Pigeon and Grievous are going at it. Well, let's keep watching this. Can't watch too much more, I gotta tell you. You're gonna see. We're gonna see.
Trust me, we're gonna see.
We're not gonna see. You're gonna see.
He said it 12 times, man. What the fuck?
It's your will against my will.
You're gonna see.
It's your will against my will. It's my will against your will.
It's as simple as that.
Who's gonna break first?
You know, it's gonna come down to who wants it more.
Yeah, that's
me and you in that mid-rank exchange.
Yeah, that's that. You think I'm not taking you like?
He's fucking on something. Look at how he's jittery. He's twitchy.
Yeah, that's
Me and you in that middle ring exchanging.
Yeah, that's that.
See that?
You think I'm not taking you lightly?
You in that middle ring exchanging.
Yeah, that's that.
Exchanging.
Yeah, that's that. I'm not. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, that's that. You think I'm not taking you lightly? I know you coming. You know why? Because Turkey got a plan for you. He told you.
There ain't no plan for me.
No, he told you.
There ain't no plan for me, bro. There ain't no plan for me. But the same goes for you, bro. The same goes for you.
No, you going straight to Canelo.
The same
after
goes
this.
for you.
You going straight to Canelo.
The same goes for you.
100% you going straight to. I'm your Canelo right now.
Oh, you ain't Canelo.
I'm your
Come
Canelo
on,
right now.
Have you won a world title?
I'm your Canelo right now.
Have you won a world title?
I'm your
You
Canelo
haven't.
right
I
now.
ain't either.
That's how I know I'm gonna be you, because you don't even look at me like that.
So now he's grasping at straws. Look at how you look at me. What is he, a high school girl? I seen you looking at me. What's wrong with this guy? Berlanga is really just trying to pull out everything out of the bag, see what sticks. He's throwing everything at the wall, see what sticks.
Like
You
what?
see where I'm going?
Like what? I don't. I'm baffed. I don't
You
get
see
it.
where I'm going?
I don't get it.
You don't get it?
I don't get it. I don't.
You don't
I
get
think
it?
only you get it.
You underestimated me, bro.
He's like Robert De Niro, Berlanga. He's just repeating the same thing over and over. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you not to buy anything big? What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
No, you're underestimating me.
Never,
You're already
bro.
talking about who you want.
Bro, no.
You know you
I
are.
always do that.
You know
I
you are.
always
No,
do
no,
that.
you
I
don't.
always do
Against
that.
Canelo.
Yeah, that's the problem. You're always talking and talking and talking.
I always do that.
Who did you call out after
I always
Canelo?
do that. I'm focused on
Who
you.
did you call
all
after
them other
Canelo?
at the end of the day, I can say
You're
what
not
I want.
focused
But
on me.
here,
You're not focused
here,
on me.
And my
You're
my
not-
balls is on here. I know I gotta go
You're
against
not
you.
focused
I know,
on me, bro.
I know. Yes,
you.
I am.
What
Yes,
you're
I
trying
am.
to do
So like a chimp, he's pointing at his balls now.
is tell yourself you are.
Munguia,
But you know I'm coming.
Munguia got knocked out by 4 knockouts. 4 knockouts. Munguia got knocked out. Knocked the out by a guy with 4 knockouts.
But at least when I knock you
think
out,
I'ma
you
go
can
in
say
there and
I've got 19
I could talk
knockouts.
as much shit
you
as
can
I
say
want.
I've got more knockouts than 4 knockouts.
Now what?
I said when I knock you out, you can justify it.
No, you're not
you can
knocking me out,
justify
bro.
it.
I
You can
promise you. I
justify
got
it.
my chin. Yo, bro, I could truck to hit me in my chin, bro. You're not knocking me. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you.
And when it happens?
I promise you.
And when
I
it
promise
happens?
you. I promise you.
And when it
Because I
happens?
know I'm gonna get hit. I know you're gonna get. It's box. I'm gonna get hit. I know I'm gonna get hit. But let's see if you ready to get hit.
You know, see my last fight, how many licks I took?
What?
How many bangs
Bro, he
I
was
took?
tapping you, bro. That dude was out of shape, bro. That dude didn't have no conditioning. He would have conditioning. He would have stopped
Yeah, the screaming, man. Let me tell you, this
you,
dude.
bro.
You're
Bro, he was tapping you, bro. He was
you're
tapping you,
disillusioned.
tapping you. I'm like, yo, bro, when he's gonna sit down on his shot, you was right. You started after.
Oh, you're gonna sit down on your shot.
You know, Shiraz with that brown suit of his and that calm demeanor, he looks like the psychologist talking to the crazy guy that they just brought to him from the mental institution. It's like, listen, can you hear this guy out a little bit? Just help him out if you can a little bit, because we don't know what to do with him.
You started.
So
He
what's
started.
listen, I'm gonna take your shots. I'm gonna talk to you in the fight.
All right,
I'm gonna talk to you.
I'm a king at that.
No, I'm gonna talk to
I'm
you.
a king at that.
It's cool.
I told
It's
Canelo.
cool.
You know, I told
I'm
Canelo.
gonna eat your
I
shots.
told Canelo
Boom,
to
boom,
suck
boom.
a. I told
I'm gonna
Canelo to
eat it.
suck a
I'm gonna eat
in
it.
the ring. I told.
He's boasting about that. It's like I told Canelo to perform a sexual act on my genitalia. He thinks he's proud of that. This is what he told Canelo in the ring.
Play my game, yeah. You wanna play? I'll play with you. We'll play hard too. Go!
He's boasting about that. I'm telling you, this show today, I certainly didn't mean it for it to turn out that way, but there's a lot of weird behavior from these boxers nowadays, and no one's calling it out. Everyone's just like, oh yeah, it's trash talking. I don't know, maybe they like that, I don't know.
You hit like my son. When you say he's gonna knock me out 2 rounds, what happened? I'm talking to him.
But he dropped you.
A lot of times, huh?
But he dropped you.
Okay, and it happens, bro. The best got dropped.
But
it's not about you getting dropped. Because guess what?
Look at that, his vein is popping. Look at that. See that vein there next to the ice? He's got a vein popping. He's gonna pop a blood vessel, this dude.
I got dropped.
If you're saying,
I got dropped, and I look right in my corner. I saw, oh yeah, it's game time. Oh yeah, the fight just started now.
Man, he talks a good game, man. He talks a good game. And oh yeah, now when I got dropped, I said, oh yeah, now it's on. And he didn't do shit. He didn't do shit for the rest of the fight. Is he crazy? I think that's why he's talking. Listen, in my experience, that's why when these guys bark so loud, because they lack the confidence, and that's what he's doing. He's talking about how he's making it out to be like he did something when he didn't really do anything.
My balls are right on the table. Now we're gonna fight.
But you didn't stand in the middle with him though.
The whole fight. What are you talking
You
about?
didn't, bro. You didn't.
Bro, the whole
You didn't,
fight.
bro.
The
You
whole
didn't.
fight. What are you talking
didn't.
about?
I think in your
What are
head,
you watching?
I think in your
What
head,
are
you
you
saw
watching?
something.
yeah, Hamza Shiraz hit the nail on the head right there. In Berlanga's head, yeah, no, he was a slog for against Canelo. In Berlanga's head, he probably thinks he dropped Canelo a bunch of times.
What are you watching?
You saw something
underestimating
else.
me, bro.
You saw something else.
Underestimating me, bro.
I'm not
Hey, keep
underestimating
doing
you.
that.
I'm not.
Hey,
Listen,
keep
I'm coming
doing
to your
that.
backyard.
It's all right.
I'm coming to your
It's okay.
backyard.
You was forced to do this, bro.
I wasn't forced to do shit. I wasn't forced to do shit.
You Canelo next.
No.
He promised you Canelo next.
No. Listen, we nearly signed
And
for
I just
another
told
fight.
you I'm your Canelo. You said how you my Canelo? I'm your Canelo.
You're not, bro.
Yes,
You're
I
not.
am.
You're
How much
not.
you in the bet?
You ain't my
How much
Canelo,
you in the
bro.
bet?
You're not.
Again with the bets here.
How much you in
Come
the
on,
bag?
let's be real.
I know you got the bag.
Let's be
I know
real,
you got
bro.
the bag.
Let's
I
be
know you got
real,
the bag.
bro.
I know you got the bag.
I'm telling you, this guy thinks Berlanga thinks he's Robert De Niro. He just keeps repeating things over and over. I know you got the bag. 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 There's homeless people around here in the streets of Montreal who sound like him.
The bag as well.
No, you got the bag.
You know, you got the bag as
turkey
well.
money. You got that turkey money.
Where's my RM?
Huh?
You're the one that I ain't
You
got
got a
my
whole
RM.
bunch of those.
You know I ain't got them.
100,000
on
on
what?
fight.
On what?
On a fight.
On what?
On
What
a
are we
win.
betting on?
On a win.
Hey, let's bet.
On a win. 100K.
There you go. On camera.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the energy. You both are.
This guy's he looks like he doesn't know what's going on. He's just smiling, saying, I like it. Meanwhile, he's terrified.
Very intense right now. You said something earlier about Edgar's energy at the press conference. You said it was a little nervous energy. Is that what you're seeing here?
I feel like it's always been him. It's always been him. But then I always say,
I gotta tell you, Hamza changed his name from Hamza Shiraz to Hamza Jung, because he's looking really deep into Berlanga's soul and really coming out with the correct assessment, I believe.
empty cans make the most noise.
Oh.
I always say it, and I stick by that.
I always say that too, by the way.
Stick by it. All the
same expression.
Talkers in my career that I fought, you see him.
Look at Berlanga. He's talking about zesty behavior. He's checking out his jewelry, and he's not even doing it the correct way. You're supposed to turn your palm towards you, bend your fingers, and then look at him that way. The way he's doing it, he looks like a Broadway star. Checking out his nails. My nails. I gotta go get them done before the big show.
Career that I fought, you see what's happened. So
you think maybe he just has ADD? I don't know.
You know what it is? It ignites a fire in me. If he was there, just didn't say nothing, I'd be like, all right, cool, we'd be going through the motions. But this is exciting. This is what boxing's about.
Well, you know what? He says it ignites a fire in me. That's he could. That's a good choice of words right there, because he could have said, he sets off a bomb in me. And as a Muslim, him saying that could be misconstrued.
Allah Akbar!
So I'm glad he said he went with the fire thing. Let's keep watching.
This is it. This is it.
You think you said empty cans make them? You think his cans are empty? You think it's
bro.
empty stuff?
Bro, he knows it. He knows it. He knows it.
It's empty.
You know what? That was a perfect opportunity. Berlanga kept bringing up his genitalia. Balls this, balls that. I told Canelo to suck my dick. When he said that his cans are empty, Shiraz should have said, I think his balls are empty too. How about that? I don't think he's got a dick. I think he's got a pussy in between those. Like that would have set Berlanga off, and that would have made for an even more intense face-off. But he didn't take it. He didn't take the opportunity.
He knows it.
It's empty.
You know I'm coming though, innit? You know that. You can see it. Come on, bro. You can see it. You know I'm coming. Come on.
I'm not even gonna touch that one, guys. Come on.
Everything. I'm leaving everything in that ring. Everything.
Coming into the ring, and I'm gonna leave it all in the ring. I'm gonna leave it all over the ring, all over the aprons, the ropes.
Intensity has switched here. It was a lot of joking and talking at the press conference. It's gotten a lot more serious now.
No kidding.
Is that something that, mind games potentially, or is that just you telling him straight up, this is what it's gonna be?
You know.
This is two autistic people looking at each other, man. What is going on here? What is going on? Shout out to the Pigeon Master, aka Prince Pigeon. That's the Pigeon. There's only one Pigeon. Shout out to him and his contribution with the super chat. He says, money to BDA from the BSBB CCD PPP. Well, shout out to you, Pigeon. You didn't have to do that, but always appreciate it. It all goes to a good cause, building up the infrastructure of this platform. And shout out to the Pigeon Master. Shout out to Pigeon. There's only one. Like Pigeon always. I always bring up Pigeon's great quote. Whenever people get too hung up on what goes on in the internet, Pigeon always said it best. He said, "Look, the internet's just a bit of fun, mate. That's what it is. It's a bit of fun. People take it too seriously. Just like Berlanga is taking this too seriously. Let me tell you." But shout out to the Pigeon Master for that super chat right there. Always appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the likes, fellas. Hit the like. Hit the like. Hit the like. I would have opened up the phone lines, but I don't think we're getting too many phone calls. These couple of mornings. Maybe we need to build up the show, make it a more a general occurrence, and maybe people will start calling in. But also, it's early in the morning, so I don't know if people are willing to deal with me this early in the day. Shout out to Two Matador, who says, BDA up earlier than my neighbor's noisy rooster. Well, you know my cock's always up, so nothing wrong there. Dwayne Allman says he's coming all over the ring. Yeah, exactly. That's these two guys. They're not making it easy for me, let me tell you. Roland Curtis says Berlanga started mugging him up. He really did, eh? He started trying to give him the 1,000-yard stare. Pancho Villa says New Yorkers dress like big-ass kids and they act like they dress. Oh, Pancho Villa throwing shade at New Yorkers. Balls says Grivas dropped 52 BDA. You chump watching his content but not paying. Ah, come on. He doesn't have to pay. Nobody has to pay. You pay out of the goodness of your heart. Buddy Lee says, BDA Boxing, what about the Chavez situation? Yeah, I mentioned that early in the show. Not much to talk about there. I mean, what's the saying that if you lie with dogs, don't be surprised if you get fleas? I am surprised, I forgot to say this. I am surprised that they let the fight happen. What a coincidence, eh? They let the fight happen, and then right after the fight, that's when they deport his ass. They needed to get that money first in Vegas or California. What was the fight? California? And then they deport him. What a coincidence. It's not good for the United States, by the way, for tourism. Because people are hanging up on the fact that they're deporting a lot of Venezuelans, a lot of Latinos. They're also deporting, a German guy got deported the other day. He was a tourist. Well, I don't know if he got deported. He got arrested. And I'm thinking, I don't know. I think that's going to create a drop in tourism for the United States. So they better rethink how they're pulling off this strategy right now. Let's continue watching this.
You know, that's all for the cameras. You know, certain you could do for the cameras, but I tell.
Bro, you throwing up gunshots earlier for the camera.
I do it again. What happened? What happened? But listen, let me tell you something, right? You got guys.
Is it me or does Berlanga sound? Does Berlanga sound punch drunk already? He's not even 30. He's already sounding punch drunk.
Right, and then.
Bro, if I done it for the camera, I would be doing it my whole career.
Fight night come.
I would do it my whole career.
Not talking about you. Be quiet.
We're talking about you.
Oh, I'm not talking about you.
Putting him in his place, talking to him like he's a student.
I'm talking about people that do cameras and then go to fight and then they bad. You know what I'm saying? They don't. Me, I talk my because now I know I gotta back it up. You know what I'm saying?
I really dislike that expression nowadays when people go, I'ma talk my shit. I'ma talk my shit. So essentially what they're doing is subconsciously they're telling you that what they're saying, they're just spewing excrement. It's a bunch of manure coming out of their mouths. They know it. So subconsciously, they try to sound cool when they say that, I'ma talk my shit. But essentially what they're admitting is that they got nothing but shit for brains.
Talk, he didn't walk the walk. He done good. I'm not taking it away from him, but the perception he's got in his head of the fight he had, I didn't see that fight.
Explain that.
He said he stood toe-to-toe with him.
Everybody knows that, bro.
Everyone's saying that you didn't.
You're an amateur, bro.
Who's saying that you didn't?
Nobody said nothing. Nobody said nothing. Walk around New York right now and ask about that fight. Oh, forgot.
What are they gonna say?
I had the whole block. I had block shut down over here.
But it all comes down to winning, and did you win?
You heard?
It all comes down to winning, and did you win?
All right, but guess what?
That's the reality of it.
All right.
What the fuck? All of a sudden, Berlanga went from being boisterous to all of a sudden he sounded like his whole energy got sucked out of him. Look at this.
All right, but.
All right, but yeah, you know,
That's what.
That's the reality of it.
All right, but it's
And
not
I've accepted that.
Okay,
I've
okay, and
accepted
look
that.
at how Torgatti and Ward.
What?
So you think your fight was
Look
like
at how
that?
Torgatti and Ward. I'm not saying that, but when I'm
You
saying
can't
that
compare
caliber, nobody talks about the winner or the loser. They talk about the war that they had. Look at William Skull.
That's what we're.
Ran the whole fight. Ran. Charlo ran. You crazy? I stood there at 50%, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I forgot. So now he's saying he was injured too. On top of that, not only did he, so he claims he put up that he tries to pride himself on the fact that he gave Canelo this big fight, you know, this epic fight, this epic struggle, and then he goes, but I was only at 50%. So he's got a whole bunch of excuses there. Two things that don't make sense. So you gave Canelo an epic fight according to him in his eyes, but he was only at 50%. Why you got to make excuses? You gave him an epic fight. That's what you're proud of. Now you got to add the fact that, I was only at 50%. What, you weren't wearing the right color of trunks and that set you off? Didn't have enough ice around your neck? What is this?
At 50%. At 50%. I don't use that as an excuse. I never went after the
Yeah, I love when they do that. No excuses, but it just wasn't me that night. Okay, so no excuses though, right?
fight. Yo, I was injured, this, that, nah. Held it down, it's all right.
You talked to me in the press conference. I don't know if you were embellishing, but it sounded like you were dead serious about a first round knockout.
Yeah, if you come to fight, you're gonna see. It's
round.
different. It's different. I'm telling you, bro.
No,
it's
you don't
different.
believe that. Come on,
bro. I'm telling you, it's
You don't
different,
believe
bro.
it. Come on,
My power's not like Emma. Emma's a little. When he fought you, he looked like he hit coke or something, bro. He was fidgety.
I mean, is Berlanga talking about himself there?
I don't know
What's
what
going
he
on?
was doing. The Dominican dude that you fought, I don't know what was going on with him. That dude.
Oh, here we go. The Puerto Rican versus Dominican war that's been going on for centuries, even before those two were recognized as nations.
He was pity patting you. I don't know what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? And he still hurt you and everything. You got hurt by ammo. July 12th. I'ma hurt this dude.
Seems like the time for talking is done.
Look at this dude. Look at those shifty eyes. He's planning something, let me tell you. Maybe all that talk about balls and dicks got him going. No, I'm kidding. But I will say this, though. This fight is interesting because it's true. Shiraz has been hurt a couple of times. And a lot of people feel that he should have lost that Adames fight. However, Adames showed me something in that fight that he could work his way on the inside against a taller guy. Berlanga has yet to show us that. And yes, okay, Shiraz looked bad in that Adames fight. Should have lost it. Berlanga looked bad. He got dropped by Coceres. He got dropped by Canelo. Lost that fight against Canelo by substantial margins. Didn't look good against Steve Rolls-Royce. Didn't even look good against Angulo either. And even the other fights he's won, when that Irish guy, that he managed to drop him at the last minute in the fight, he wasn't looking good in that fight either. So you could make the argument that Berlanga hasn't looked good in ages. Back when he was on ESPN knocking everybody out. Remember that when he had, 12 consecutive knockouts or something like that? So it goes both ways in this fight. And I don't know how it goes. My instinct is that Shiraz's sharper, straighter blows and the reach advantage are going to get the job done. But Berlanga can still crack. The problem is not the power. The problem is the delivery mechanism. He can't get that power across. But if he can, and again, it might be a big if. We'll see what happens on fight night. But this is a dangerous fight for both guys, that's for sure.
An 100K bet on the line. We're sticking to it? Yes.
1,000%.
100K on the line and much, much more on the line in this main event.
A lot, much more on the line. There's not much more on the line. It's a fight. This guy's got to hype it up, though. So, yeah, Berlanga, man, he's going to have Shiraz is going to have to deal with this. Look at this. Come on now. Look at that beautiful defense. Look at that. I think he was having an aneurysm or something there, Berlanga. I don't think he was actually playing defense. Look at that. By the way, this is how when I go to the bathroom to take a shit, this is how I head to the bathroom. Look at that. Very theatrical, Mr. BDA with his moves. It's a ritual. It's like doing origami or something. I gotta go back and I go, wham. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. What are people in the chat saying? Jay Will, shout out to Jay Will for his contribution with the super chat. He says, BDA, love the morning show. Well, shout out to you, Jay Will. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And hopefully other people are enjoying it as well, or everybody's enjoying it as well. And thank you for your contribution, man. Really appreciate it. Two Matador says, my prediction, Bernaliga's neck turns green from the 4 gold chains. Oh, his neck. Why is that? People always saying that. Does your neck really turn green? Because I think LL said the same thing about Mario Barrios. I don't know if you guys saw, but Barrios was training for the Pacquiao fight. He had a gold chain around his neck, and LL said the same thing. I don't know, because everything I wear is real. I got the gold chains. I got the diamonds. The what do they call it? Cuban links? I don't know. No, in reality, I got no jewelry whatsoever. Nothing. Not even a ring from nothing. So I wouldn't know whether fake right there. Pancho Villa picking Shiraz with confidence. So shout out to Pancho Villa for that. Two Matador says, one dude in a snazzy suit, the other is some ghetto fake gold chains. That's a selling point right there if I ever saw one, especially this early in the morning. Shout out to Blue Collar Sports TV, a.k.a. Del Boy. Where was it? I saw a comment from him earlier. There we go. He says, he says, Berlanga is like a caricature type character in a straight-to-DVD New York crime film. You know, I've seen my share of those type of movies on YouTube. I can never finish them, and you're absolutely right. Berlanga should be there. And the acting, you can tell he's acting. You can tell he's putting on a show here. Although he did make it look realistic with the bulging neck vein. That was a good detail right there. Pancho Villa says, Berlanga sounds like he looks stupid. Come on. See, there's no need for the name calling right there. Speaking of name calling, Grivas and Bolvus and Pigeon are still going at it. Did I call him Pigeon? I meant Pigeon. Listen, I've been on for over 2 hours. Woke up at 5 in the morning to get this show done. So shout out to everybody out there. If I start mispronouncing certain things, hey, listen, you gotta cut me some slack. It's 4th of July, people. Come on now. It's the 4th of July. So shout out to everybody out there. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Have some apple pie, lemonade, some fireworks in the evening. Stay safe out there. You never know with these national holidays. People like to drive into parades nowadays. There's been about 3 or 4 of those cases going on. So hopefully you stay safe. Keep your eyes peeled. Keep your chin down, hands up. Defend yourself at all times. Protect yourself at all times. So shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to everybody who donated the super chat. Shout out to everybody who was here. Grievous, the Pigeon Meister, Two Matador, Pancho Villa, the aforementioned Blue Collar Sports TV. Go check out his channel, Blue Collar Sports TV, aka Del Boy. Jay Will, Texas 216. Who else we had here? Roland Curtis, Alfredo Contreras, Team Batman Boxing, Dwayne Allman. If I forgot anybody, fellas, it's because we do have to go. We've been in here for a while. Gonna get a little breakfast. Maybe a show later today. Maybe. There's not much to talk about. But we'll certainly try to be back as soon as possible, especially next week, fellas. Come on. We got that great card on Saturday. That's the other thing, that the Jake Paul card really delivered. 3 knockout stoppage performances in the beginning of the card, a couple of upsets, and then the Chavez versus Paul fight. It actually got interesting late in the latter stages of that fight. So he really did deliver. So hopefully this one delivers too. And let me just refresh my memory here. Who's going to be fighting in that card? Well, July the 11th. When is that? Is that on a Friday? Is that next Friday? All right, so next Friday, you got women boxing, so we're not going to pay attention to too much of that. Then July the 12th, that's what we're talking about. Queens. What the hell is that? Sorry about that. That was ESPN. When you go on the schedule, they play this music. I was wondering where it was coming from. I was like, well, why all of a sudden am I hearing this crescendo? So July the 12th from Queens, New York, we get Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza Shiraz. Like I said, that's an interesting fight. Of course, the one that people are looking forward to the most, or most people are looking forward to this one the most, it seems, is Shakur Stevenson and William Cepeda. Alberto Puello versus Subriel Matias, Dominican Republic versus Puerto Rico. The saga continues between Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. And then David Morrell versus Imam Kataev. So that's going to be an interesting one. Isn't there anything else that day? Hovhannissian, Chris Thomas, Vladimir Hernandez. What is that from Pro? Is that Pro Box? Hernandez versus Verdon? It doesn't say. And then the week after that, Pacquiao versus Barrios. I don't know about that. The undercard looks decent. Figueroa versus Joey Gonzalez. Isaac Cruz versus Fierro, the rematch. Fundora versus Tim Tszyu, the rematch. See, they're trying to compete with that Sheik. That's what's good about the Sheik. Well, that's another positive. He's making other platforms up their game with some solid cards. So if it wasn't for the Sheik, I don't think the PBC would be doing that. You never know. All right, shout out to everybody out there. Don't forget to hit the like on the way out. Subscribe if you yet to do so already. We'll see you on the next one, fellas. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. Thank you for joining us on today's BDA Morning Show. Whoa, gotta go.